do I just walk in once you call me in?
No. When the graphics come up.
Oh, yeah, coming then, yeah.
State of the art purpose built the new home. This is Friday Night Fights on Australian Sports Leader Fox Sports. After 15 years is still bringing you the best of Aussie boxing. A 5-fight card tonight. Our main event at $10,000 winner takes all clash. Our semi-main promises to be one of the fights. A couple of real big deep breaths before you start. when the graphics are on, get your breathing right. Mate, you'll kill it. State-of-the-art, purpose-built in the new home of Melbourne boxing. For the first time, welcome to the Pavilion, and the house full sign is up. This is Friday Night Fights, and after 15 years, Fox Sports, Australia's sports leader, is still bringing you the best of Aussie boxing. A 5-fight live card here tonight. Our main event, a $10,000 winner-takes-all clash at light heavyweight. Our semi-main event, potentially one of the fights of the year. It's a 5-fight card. Let's check out what's on your boxing menu live from Melbourne here tonight. And we kick it off at super featherweight. Brent, Elliott and Justin Medoro, two interstaters, so perfectly matched the promoters believe they brought them to Melbourne to settle the score. This one over 4 3-minute rounds. From there we move to light heavyweight. Brad Pole from Christchurch in New Zealand. Tonight, very much battling emotion, taking on a current Aussie champion in local boy Pat Rullo. From there we step up in weight, and substantially. Plenty of kilos on offer. Originally from the United States, now based in Auckland, New Zealand, Clarence Tillman takes on the returning Iron Rhino. Michael Kirby is back at heavyweight, 6 3-minute rounds. Our semi-main event, well, this could be anything. Catchweight, the precision of Victor Chernous, the sheer brute power of Steve Heremaia, another international matchup. And then it is time for our main event to be contested over 8 3-minute rounds. It is Sydney-sider Michael Bolling and local boy Blake Caparello. Very simply, $10,000 on the line. Winner takes all. Joining me in commentary over the course of the night, former national champion, the little big man Chris McCullen. Hard to predict with any great certainty this main event.
Yeah, isn't it? What? Look, I really think this fight has the ingredients to be an absolute cracker. Michael Bolling, domestically one of my favourite fighters to watch. He's a nice, neat, left-handed fighter. Decent power, you know, and he makes no mistakes for his opponents to capitalise on. Blake Caparello, well, we're down in Blake's hometown. We're at Blake's weight. He's a very aggressive, no-nonsense style fighter, left-handed fighter himself, so this should be a real cracker.
Our semi-main event, classic boxer versus puncher, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And look, Victor Chernous, I saw him for my first time last year in here on Fox Sports in Campbelltown. I was super impressed with him. I loved his style. My only worry was he lacked a little defence, which will certainly suit his opponent, Stephen Heremaia, who is known as a slugger, known as a hard puncher, and this one's set to be a real battle, that's for sure.
The heavyweight battle, let's look at the support card. 250 kilos of brute power in the ring at once.
Yeah, Michael Kirby, Clarence Tillman, Australia versus the USA. There's no better characters in the sport than Michael Kirby, and it's great to see him back in the ring.
Okay, a 5-fight card live coming your way from the beautiful purpose-built venue, the Pavilion, here in Flemington in Melbourne, and it's time to head to the ring for our first fight of the night. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape and how the boys are going to line up. Brent Elliott and Justin Medoro, Brisbane and Millicent in South Australia. Elliott has the experience. Medoro looking for his first pro victory. Only little men and only young men, 20 and 24 years apiece. 176 centimetres in height and reach. So the stats in favour of Medoro. For the first time tonight, let's head centre ring. It's a good evening to Mr. Howard Lee.
Thank you, Andy Raymond. Good evening to you. Good evening to Fox Sports viewers right around Australia. You're at the Melbourne Pavilion. Brian Amatrita, Barry Michael Sports, Friday night fights. Ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome into the red corner from Morayfield, Queensland, Brent Action Elliott. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Would you welcome me to the blue corner from Millicent, South Australia, Justin Rocky Medoro. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Centre Ring on Fox Sports. Brian Amatrita's 21st big promotion in conjunction with former IBF Super Featherweight Champion of the World, Barry Boy Michael. 4 rounds of Super Featherweight interstate boxing. Would you welcome first in the red corner from Morayfield, Queensland, trainer John Briggs. In amateur boxing, 3 Queensland amateur championships in 29 bouts. Professional record, 8 fights, 4 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses, 1 inside the distance. Ranked number 5 in Sugar Ray Whitley's World of Boxing at Super Featherweight at 58.90 kilograms. Wearing Collingwood colours, black and white. Would you welcome Brent Action Elliott. And across the ring in the blue corner from Millicent, South Australia. He works as a painter decorator, trains at the Mount Gambier Boxing Club with former national lightweight champion Colin Cassidy. In amateur boxing, 24 fights, 16 wins. 1 professional fight in Perth last November on the Danny Green Flores undercard. At 57.80 kilograms, wearing total black trunks. Would you welcome Rocky Justin Medoro. Referee Matt Ropers, former lightweight champion of Australia. Judges Samantha Bullner, Tony Moretta, Malcolm Bullner. Timekeepers at the bell, Chris Anderson Jr. and Tom Davis. Here we go. Matt Ropers to give referees instructions.
A good clean fight. I want you to follow my instructions. Best of luck to both of you.
Former national champion Matty Ropus, the third man inside the ring for our opener here live on Friday Night Fights.
Whenever you're ready.
Brent Elliott and Justin Medoro.
Round 1.
Medoro fighting out of the blue corner in the straight black trunks. It is Elliott, the Queenslander, in the black and white piping. Height and reach advantage, as we said in our opener. And it goes to the South Australian, Rocky Medoro. Sizable difference, isn't it, Chris McCullum?
Yeah, definitely so. He's a very, very tall super featherweight, Justin Medoro.
Tony Moretta, Malcolm Bullner, Sam Bullner, our 3 ringside judges. If in fact we are required at the end of 12 minutes of super featherweight action. They're not big men, weighing in underneath that 58.97 kilo limited. 130 pound, if you like. A nice little shot on departure there from the shorter of the 2 fighters in Elliott.
Yeah, he's not a bad little fighter, Brent Elliott. He's got a big heart. He turned professional nice and young, and he's got a good future on the Australian circuit.
Wins over Jerry Spinidis, Kane Buckley, and a draw and a points loss to well-performed Corey McConnell, one of your fighters.
Yeah, the Baby Hulk. Credit to Brent Elliott. He gave Corey a real tough fight in the first one, albeit we took it on late notice, but no excuses. And, the next fight, Corey got on points, and that was a willing affair as well. And Brent Elliott didn't disgrace himself as he digs to the body.
Nice body shots there from Brent Elliott. Action, Brent Elliott.
You see his posture then. He had a perfect posture, good balance, and that allowed him to get those shots off.
Trained by Johnny Briggs over there in Moray Field. Made
they breed him tough up that way.
Oh, don't they what? And look at this body action from Elliott. Almost exclusively. And if he can't find the side of the body, he's ramming it right in up under the sternum.
It doesn't matter. He's doing a perfect job. This is with this tall opponent. He'll break this guy down, and by round 2 or 3, those hands will come down nice and low from Justin Medoro, and Brent Elliott will capitalise on that. Oh, it's coming down already.
Big shot over the top from Brent Elliott with 45 seconds remaining in the round. How can Justin Medoro turn this around and stick on the outside and do just that? Use his height advantage, use his reach advantage, and limit the opportunities Brent Elliott can get on the inside. Nice left hook.
Yeah, he took it well too, Medoro.
And he's got some whiskers, hasn't he?
He has, definitely. He's going to need them by the looks of it in this fight. Brent Elliott, to me, I've seen a fair bit of Brent Elliott. I like him. He's a good young man inside and outside of the ring. And to me, he looks like he's improved a little bit, which is really good to see, as he takes a couple of punches.
End of round number 1, and a get well call to former Aussie light middleweight champion, referee and judge Trevor Christian, who is in Sydney and doing it tough over the last couple of weeks and months. Big guy, you're a fighter, and our thoughts and prayers are with you in this, the toughest fight of your life.
You got him in the end. You learn some punches. You're not giving too much side. Where's all your punches? Where's all your body? Right? Yep. When you go in there, do that strong left. Right shot, you got Neil. Long straight left hand, that right uppercut. You can't get that up, right? But you got to do body punches. He took that very easily.
Let's take a look at some of the action from round number 1.
I think, Brent Elliott, he worked a perfect game plan, and he's the shorter fighter up against the taller fighter, went to the body early, and that brings the hands down of Medoro, and Elliott's able to capitalise on that.
Round number 2, plenty of superstars in the house. Pre-telecast fight saw a very familiar face in the blue corner. It was none other than the former national champion, the Mad Dog, Tony Miller. I had the pleasure of attending and working and commentating some of his many wars over the years, and it was great to see the old stager here, live and in living colour. Okay, you heard the instructions, the advice from the Mount Gambier boxing gym and the former Aussie lightweight champion Colin Cassidy to Justin Medoro, and he said, look, the later the round, the better you looked. Why? It was because you fought at a distance.
Yeah, and at this stage, to what I see, Medoro's not doing that perfectly. He's walking up to Brent Elliott, which is going to come into Brent Elliott's favour. He's got a good long reach.
As the taller boxer, you can bring them into you.
That's right, and he should just be sitting at his distance, picking Brent Elliott off. But he's not. He's walking straight into Brent Elliott's distance.
A bit more selective with his punches is Justin Medoro in this first minute 15 of round number 2. I guess the same applies for Elliott. As fatigue sets in, you're certainly not going to throw as many punches.
That's right. It's definitely a better start to the round to Medoro, but I still don't think he should be in too close to Brent Elliott. Oh, beautiful uppercut there from Medoro.
Medoro in the straight black. In the black and white piping is Brent Elliott, the shorter of the two men. Both at super featherweight, but very different body shapes, very different body types.
Yeah, definitely. But he's a handy customer, Medoro. He's having a real dig. I think he could work on his defence a little. But he's a real trier, that's for sure. I'd like to see Brent Elliott go left hook, left rip, left hook. I think he'll have success with it quite often.
Yeah, that right hand has dropped substantially.
Yeah.
From the painter decorator, Justin Medoro.
Oh, nice left hook and right hook there from Elliott.
It's an odd combination of pursuits, isn't it? A painter decorator and pro boxer on Friday night.
Yeah, that's right.
Just over half minute remaining. He had a good amateur career, Justin Medoro. 24 fights, 16 victories. And only the one pro fight, but that was on the Danny Green BJ Flores undercard in November of last year. Lost a points decision to the very talented youngster Waylon Law.
Yeah, good young kid Waylon Law. He's
good little fight at Lost too.
We've seen him fight here in Sydney. Down in Sydney as well, and he's a good young fighter, young Queenslander. Good future in the sport. Nice left hook there from Medoro, and Brent Elliott just walks straight through and keeps on coming.
Last couple of seconds, in fact, the bell sounds to end round number 2 at super featherweight. We are half fight distance if, in fact, we're going to the judges' scorecards. Some massive shows coming up on Friday Night Fights in the next few months. We will tell you about them a little bit later. For all the latest, feel free to follow me on Twitter. I'll keep you up to date whenever and wherever you want. And the Twitter community very high on Friday Night Fights this week. To Borgie and the crew, we know they're all watching and discussing who, what, when, where and why.
Late Caparello, sponsored by Melbourne Supermarket, Chernous, and James, Worthing here and Signal.
On the front foot, it's getting.
Second time, ready press, round 3.
Round number 3, a better round it was last up. I thought, Chris, for Justin Medoro, it looked as though the fight may have been finishing inside perhaps the opening 90 seconds.
Yeah, I agree, Andy. Medoro really had a dig in that last round. He needed to, because Brent Elliott was all over him in the first round. But Johnny Briggs has asked Brent Elliott to get on the front foot a bit more and keep cutting down Medoro.
5'9.5" in the old language, or 176 centimetres. There's not too many super featherweights that can boast statistics like that, is there? No. Awkward customer as a result, pretty hard to match.
Very, very tall super featherweight, that's for sure.
We mentioned Justin Medoro's amateur record earlier. Let's talk a little about Brent Elliott. He's the boxer here in the black with the white piping. 29 amateur contests, or one-time Australian global champion, a two-time global state champion, and an ABA Golden Gloves champion up there in Queensland as well. So both have come through the system. That said, in current day, 2011, the differences between amateur and pro boxing are like chalk and cheese.
That's right, they are. And I think, you know, when guys turn pro, and especially after someone's mouthpiece has just gone out.
And surprisingly, I think it's Brent Elliott's. I wouldn't have been shocked if Justin Medoro's mouthguard had somehow managed to find its way out of his mouth. Normally a good old trick.
Yeah, but he's taken some good shots at the moment, Medoro. Good work from Brent Elliott. Elliott's got a bit of claret coming from the nose. My thoughts would be from the right uppercut of Medoro. There it is again.
Medoro taking a lot of shots on entry and almost leaning in. I thought he was out on his feet a couple of exchanges ago. Just awkward body positioning. Big lanky customer.
He is, yeah. He's,
especially in this division. Oh, beautiful stiff left jab from Justin Medoro as Elliott again concentrates to the body. Nice right hand over the top of that left shoulder.
Yeah, good set of punches there from Brent Elliott, but then he looked and said, gee, that was good, and he took a couple of shots for free. As he comes firing back again, Brent Elliott, as he eats a right uppercut from Medoro.
Tell you what, with 30 seconds to go in round number 3, this is a good little Aussie stick to get the party started.
A good even matchup. Both boys landing some good shots on each other this round.
Oh, bam, bam!
3 of them.
Couple of great right hands from Brent Action Elliott. Trying to post a W for the Queenslanders tonight.
We're used to getting them, Andy. We're used to getting them.
We're not even going to go down that rugby league route at the moment.
5 years in a row, Andy. You guys are struggling.
Oh, a low shot there at the end of the round. 3 down, 1 remaining. And while we do have a break, let's check out the super featherweight rankings as they stood as of February 2011 on a local basis. Here they are. The champion is, of course, Greg Eady, the Queenslander. There is some talent here. Will Tomlinson, Paul Fleming, the Baby Holt, Corey McConnell, Matty Gartlett, an upcoming fight over there in WA. The young man we're seeing at the moment, Brent Elliott, and Lucas Reggett. The 1 fight, the 1 win, doing it from Queensland.
Watching it, let's get on to it, right? Go to that, and don't stop. Don't stop. They call him Action Jackson, so they call you Rocky. Now get on to it.
Seconds out, 4th and final round.
Here we go, the 4th and final round. How are you seeing the fight, Chris?
Yeah, I think it's a really good even fight, but I've got Brent Elliott just up at the moment. And speaking of the champion in this weight division, the Butterfly Greg Eady, congratulations, just had another baby boy. Also Lance Costello, him and his wife, baby twins, young Quade and young Savannah. Congratulations to all you guys out there via TV. Oh, nice jab from Medoro.
Both guys centering, having just a genuine crack. Just saw Barry Michael, Brian Armatruda, our 2 promoters here tonight, Brian's venue, and both of them have worked feverishly over the last 6 weeks in particular to make tonight the success it is. Great corporate support, great general public support, and both guys are still wandering around with a frown on the face. They want to make it better. They're not happy with a full house. They're not happy that everyone's enjoying. They're trying to improve the night. So the 2 guys, sit back, relax, and enjoy your show, because it is a beauty.
If we keep seeing even fights like this throughout the night, everyone should go in pretty happy. This is a real good fight. In the corner when we saw Medoro go back, he's that relaxed. He had a little smirk to the camera, let everyone know he's okay. He's landed some real good shots here on Brent Elliott, who keeps charging forward with success of his own shots.
Halfway through the 4th and final round. Pushing forward here is Elliott. Both guys have certainly hit that wall, the fatigue barrier. Nice left hook there again from Elliott. For a much shorter fighter, he's throwing and rolling that left hook really nicely.
Yeah, and then he digs to the body after it. He's really improved Brent Elliott for mine. I like the toughness of Justin Medoro. He takes some shots and then he comes back with some handy shots of his own.
Look at this Elliott. Little terrier, isn't he? Just keeps on coming.
I love what Colin Cassidy said in the corner at the end of the bell. They call him Action. We call you Rocky for a reason. Get out there.
What about the right hand there? It was only a short one from Justin Medoro, but there was quite a bit on it.
They're the ones that hurt, Andy. Look at this. They're just standing toe to toe.
Swinging from the ropes. There's not a lot of energy, not a lot of power left, but there is plenty of ticker.
Still no one wants to take a backward step, and after the first
minute or 90 seconds, as you said, I didn't think we'd see this part of the fight. Credit to Justin Medoro. He's fought back and he's right in the fight.
Yeah, well done, boys, well done.
Yeah, good fight.
We don't have the bright lights, the $1 million paydays and the venues and the hype that they do in the US that produces so many great fights. This is what I like about Oz boxing. It's different, it's hardcore, it's locally based, and that was a good little stink to start the night.
Yeah, well done. Hats off to both guys.
Let's recover.
Let's check out some of the action from the fourth and final round, and doing it almost with a smile on his face for a while there, Justin Medoro. That left hook took the smile off his face.
Didn't it, what? But only for a few seconds, because then he'd come back with some good shots.
Plenty more to look forward to on this edition of Friday Night Fights. Up next, Brad Pole and Pat Rullo. Then a heavyweight war, Clarence, Tillman, Michael Kirby. I'm looking forward to our almost co-main events. Victor Chernous, Steve Heremaia, the puncher versus the power. The puncher is Chernous, so good at what he does. So smooth. Punches just brilliantly. Heremaia wants to fight.
Doesn't he, what? I love what Chernous does. I love the little things he does. He's a brilliant tactician. He's a great boxer. Yep. But Heremaia, he's going to let him go.
And of course, our main event, $10,000 on the line. Winner take all. Michael Bolling and Blake Caparello at light heavyweight. At the natural division, if you like, of Blake Caparello. Been campaigning there for some time. Michael Bolling, if you've seen him on Fox Sports before, or you're a boxing tragic, a little like us, a genuine super middleweight.
Yeah, I like seeing Michael Bolling go round.
Two left-handers, which could be interesting in itself. Okay, let's make it official, Howard Lee.
Thank you, Andy Raymond. Welcome back to Centre Ring. Both boxers come to Centre Ring for the official decision. It's another close one. Ladies and gentlemen, Judge Samantha Bullner had it 39 Elliott red, 38 blue Medoro. Judge Tony Moretta had it blue corner 39 Medoro and Elliott 37. Final card, it's in the hands of Malcolm Bullner. He had it 38-38. It's a draw. We didn't win, we didn't lose.
A draw to get us started here on Friday Night Fights. I think Brett Elliott can probably feel a little hard done by. Nonetheless, a great fight. And the possibility these two down the road might do it one more time. Friday Night Fights is back on Friday the 25th of March, again Fox Sports 1, and kicking off 8 p.m. Eastern. Ryan Waters and former world champion Gary Sinclair in New South Wales welterweight title is on the line. Hussein El Husseini and Anthony Brownlee. The heavyweights are there as well, along with an all-star cast. We hope you can join us, that is, in a couple of weeks' time on March 25. Time for a quick break here on Friday nights. After the break, we're going to head back to the ring in the light middleweight division. It's Brad Pole and Pat Rullo. Now what we are going to do... Yeah, I can hear, and I can hear myself, which is excellent. Okay. Will you just jump out half a step, and as I introduce you, just come into me. We're trying to get you, make you look good. Straight in. No. Brent Elliott and Justin Medoro, the two super featherweights, fighting out a draw to kick us off here on Friday Night Fights. A 5-fight live card, a main event, 10 grand. Winner takes all. Let's speak to the participants. Sydney side of Michael Bolling. 10 grand's a nice night at the office.
It would be a nice purse to get, mate. Just got to win the fight first of all, but definitely confident and looking forward to it.
How's the preparation been?
Good. I've been fortunate enough to have Jamie Pittman to help me out with southpaw sparring, and all the boys up at the Grange and down at toe-to-toe with Dave Burchell. But I've been quite lucky actually. I feel good.
Height and reach advantage, both going to Blake Caparello. Get in on the inside, use your power.
I will be, mate. I'll be getting into that midsection if I can, and everything's looking good. I'm not worried about height or reach or whatever. I'm just going to do what I got to do.
All the very, very best. Michael Bolling headlining tonight's show. Let's take a look at our main event and what's happening with it. Michael Bolling, just the one loss. That was in a world title matchup over in South Africa. And Blake Caparello, the Melbourne boy, undefeated. Will the O go? He says no. And here he is, the local boy. How are the nerves tonight? A massive night. The lights are on. You're main eventing.
Yeah, no, the nerves are good. I'm excited. It's a big night for me. 10 grand winner takes all. And Michael Bolling's a big opponent. So he's well known around Australia, and it's a chance for me to step up.
And step up, you've embraced it. You want to.
Yes, I do want to. I want to. Just my last 3 fights been Joel Casey, Kay McKay, and Shane McConville. So now Michael Bolling, mate. I'm taking on the best in Australia. That's what I want to do.
Now, you're a natural light heavyweight. Michael Bolling, we've seen him as a super middleweight. Is that in your advantage?
Yes and no. Like, I know he walks around 83 kilos. I remember from about 6 months ago he was talking to me. It's an advantage. There's no advantages really in boxing, mate. We're all ready to go. He wanted to come up to the weight, and he's taken on the number 1 in Australia.
We wish you all the very, very best.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, mate.
Blake Caparello, Michael Bolling, it is our main event. It's time to head back to the ring. Fight number 2 coming your way on Friday Night Fights. An international matchup. Brad Pole from Christchurch in New Zealand up against one of our current national champions in Paddy Rullo. The middleweights ready to take centre stage. This is statistically how they line up, and not a great deal in it. The 4 centimetres in height, the 4 centimetres in reach, and half a kilo, about half a hot dog on the scales. Let's go to Howard.
Thank you, Andy. Ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome to the red corner in the 6 rounds of international middleweight boxing from Christchurch, New Zealand. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the blue corner. He's gentlemen, would you be please upstanding and observe a moment's silence? Please be upstanding and observe silence in respect. Shh. Ladies and gentlemen, New Zealand is very close to Australia in practical terms and also in boxing, kickboxing. Many of our great warriors, great fights between New Zealanders, Kiwis and Australians in all forms of sport. The young man Brent in the red corner, he was tragically damaged by the Christchurch earthquake, as many Kiwis were. And the Australian boxing family tonight pays tribute with a traditional 10 gong salute, which means may the people who lost their lives rest in peace, and those who are critically and seriously injured have our blessing. Timekeepers at the bell, Chris Anderson and Tom Davis, will now gong the bell 10 times, which means a knockout for our Kiwi brothers and sisters. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing in the red corner from Christchurch, New Zealand, the Earthquake City. Ladies and gentlemen, a professional record of 4 fights, 2 wins, 2 losses, 1 inside the distance. Don't be fooled by those losses he's fought. He's lost to 2 great Aussie fighters, Les Piper and Olympian Jared Fletcher. Tipping the scales at 70 kilograms even. Ladies and gentlemen, blue trunks, would you welcome with Team Thompson in the corner, Brad Pole, New Zealand. And across the ring on my left, occupying the blue corner with Ray Giles, legendary coach in the corner, and Lim Checker, the reigning Victorian and Australian super welterweight champion. Not putting those titles on the line tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, at 70.50 kilograms, a professional record of 14 fights, 11 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses. Ladies and gentlemen, wearing black trunks with white, with Tasman his sponsor on the front. Would you welcome Victoria's Big Pat Rullo. Referee Malcolm Buller, judges Tony Moretta, Matt Ropus and Anthony Hibbs. 6 rounds of international boxing. Here we go.
Gentlemen, welcome to centering. Good clean fight. Obey my instructions all the time. Shake hands now, come on fighting at the bell. May the best man win. Good luck.
Malcolm, the Raging Bullner, is our referee here. Tony Moretta, Anthony Hibbs and Matty Ropus, our 3 ringside judges. Fight number 2, 6 3-minute rounds at light middleweight, 69.85 kilos, 154 pound or 11 stone flat, if that makes a little more sense to you. Australia versus New Zealand. Brad Pole from Christchurch, New Zealand, in the blue trunks. Pat Rullo from Melbourne, Australia, in the black trunks. Form fighter, quality fighter is the young Aussie. 3-punch combination, all left hands, going up the body, changing levels and doing so nicely.
Yeah, we saw him win the vacant light middleweight title against Jason Konoski down here in September, and I'm sure he would have learned a lot from that. They went 10 rounds, they fought hard, and I'm sure Pat Rullo would have learnt the best from that.
And many will tell you, controversial decision. There was plenty that thought Jason Konoski, in fact, should it be wearing the title?
Definitely myself. Watching the fight, I thought Jason won, but it was a close contest, and at the end of the day, that's boxing. Sometimes you're going to get some, sometimes you're not. I know Jason's back in action now. He lost a fight just recently to Todd Kidd, but he's got another one coming up against Brad Hemming, so it's good to see him still going. He's not, you know, damaged from a couple of losses for the Australian title.
No, he's a Konofsky. He'll keep fighting.
He's a Heritage City Hurricane, Jason Konofsky.
Saw Lincoln Hudson from the Blacktown Hit Squad a little earlier. Our congratulations go to Brad Pitt, who won in the USA last week. Returns to fight Daniel Aman here for the Aussie Cruiserweight title on our May show. Also on the May show, Justin Whitehead, Michael Kirby for the Australian Heavyweight title, Steve Wills, Solomon Egberheim. May 13, a massive show. We are back here in Melbourne. Speaking of Daniel Aman, last weekend, a win over Walter Papua on a show in Newcastle, headlined by Tui Lavini. Minute remaining, round number 1.
I tell you what, Pat Rullo looks a lot bigger and a lot stronger,
doesn't he,
than when I saw him go around last time, as we spoke about Jason Konofsky.
A lot more powerful.
Yeah, definitely, and he's using his angles better, he's digging to the body better. He really looks like he's taken a lot from that fight, and he's brought it to this one. No body fat on him whatsoever. Brad Pole sucking the big ones in pretty early here in round 1.
He certainly is. It's been a difficult round around, very much fought on the back foot. Needs to keep it nice and high here, because when Rullo punches, he does so with bad intention.
Good jab there from Rullo. I think Rullo gets in and he goes left rip, left hook. He got those shots off earlier, and I think he'll be very successful again as Brad Pole lands a left hook of his own.
Final couple of seconds of the opening round. And it was very much a Pat Rullo round. Now, we mentioned Rullo and Jason Konofsky did battle late in the year, and it was at Flemington for the Australian junior welterweight title.
That's right, light middleweight, Andy. You can even see the body shape there on Pat Rullo. He looks a lot bigger tonight than he did back then. Very entertaining fight, this one, and could have went either way. Nice right hand there from Rullo. On this night here, Jason used a lot of angles with Pat Rullo, and early on here I saw Pat Rullo using those angles on Brad Pole, and that's becoming a better fighter. You learn from everyone, and it doesn't matter who it is. You listen, you watch, you learn, and you can see Pat Rullo's really used that to his ability.
Ray Giles, the trainer from the St Kilda PCYC, casting his experienced eye over the shoulder there of Paddy Rullo in his 15th pro fight, looking to make it 12 wins, just the one stoppage on the resume of Pat Rullo. One draw as well, so not a power puncher.
Keep walking, keep walking.
Beautiful right hook to the body there from Pat Rullo.
Plenty of urgency in what he's doing, Paddy Rullo here.
Nice job.
Gee, Brad Pole almost just knocked himself out walking onto that one.
Glove went straight through his mouth now. I think Pat Rullo just gets a little excited on... Oh, nice body shot again. A little excited on the outside. He can be a little bit calmer just to find those shots come off a little bit easier. But he's putting on a great display here early on in the second round. Brad Pole, I'd say his corner team's told him to keep his hands up this round. They're a little bit higher. Emergency, it's for Pat Rullo versus Brad Pole. Try and get Brad Pole out of there. Pat Rullo's on fire.
Yes, the alarms are going off here at the Pavilion. You might want to call them teething problems.
Someone's got to let the boys know in the ring they haven't been hit with the big right hand. They're not hurt. The bells aren't ringing in the ears. It's in the building.
I'm looking for Tarek Solak. He might be around here somewhere. He hasn't been playing with matches underneath the fire alarm somewhere.
I'm finding Brian Amatruda or Barry Michael. They got to be the safest two in the house.
That was a first for everything.
A good thing the boys didn't show any worry in the ring. They didn't even blink. They just kept fighting.
Isn't it amazing, the focus? They just completely ignored it. They would have heard it, but they completely ignored it. 60 seconds remaining, round number 2. This is a 6-round journey.
I don't think we'll see 6. We might see 3 maybe.
That said, Petty Rullo, just the one stoppage victory in 11 victories.
Yeah, I think we'll see number 2 tonight. He looks switched on, he looks big, he looks strong, and Brad Pole, although he's got a big heart, I just think that, you know, he's nearly out of steam already.
Okay, Brad's 2 losses on his record. One was to Jared Fletcher, 2006 Commonwealth Games gold medalist and former PABA middleweight champion. The other one was a 3-round KO loss to Les Diamond Piper, the former Australian super middleweight champion. That was back in September of last year. Of course, we saw Les Piper and Josh Clenshaw headline our February show earlier this year, and Les continued on his winning ways.
Yeah, no shame in losing to those guys. Fletcher's very active at the moment. He's just got a win over Aswin Gabai, a win over Kashif Mumtaz. Now he's got a fight coming up with in WA, Robbie Bryan for the PABA middleweight title once again. So he's very active out there. No shame in losing to him, that's for sure. As we'll jump in and have a look what happened at in between round number 2, and it was Pat Rullo all the way for mine. He got behind the jab, he dug to the body, as you see there. He did a right hook just before that one, and he had full control over what was going on in round number 2.
Also, short, hard, short hooks. Right, lift them on hook. Work on the inside. Yeah. Hands are close. Okay. Keep the head moving. Right. So nice and tight, the D. Okay. All nice. Right.
And we continue on between that man, Pat Rullo, and Brad Pole, an international matchup. Australia versus New Zealand. So far, the Aussie flag flying high because it has been, for mine anyway, all Pat Rullo.
Yeah, it's clear winning each round to Pat Rullo so far. Brad Pole's come out and he thought, I'm going to have a dig this round. I'm going to give it everything I got. Credit to him. He's got that fighting Kiwi spirit in him that, you know, all of them have over in Christchurch and New Zealand at the moment in this bad time.
I saw the Crusaders and the Waratahs over there a little earlier on Fox Sports. Of course, you can catch everything on Fox Sports, but the emotion amongst the players, officials, and the crowd there at the over in New Zealand, absolutely astonishing. And our thoughts and our prayers have been and do remain with our Kiwi friends who've been to hell and back over the last fortnight.
Isn't Mother Nature just the cruelest thing going around? We've got the Christchurch earthquake, the floods up in Queensland, the hurricane, the cyclone up in Queensland. It's just been never ending. The floods down here in Victoria, bushfires in WA.
Halfway through round number 3, a 6-rounder. Both men weighing in under the 70 kilos. A little bit more success here and a few points for the tough Kiwi.
Yeah, he's still getting beat, but he's just come out this round and there's been a different person from round number 1 and 2 to what we're seeing here. Albeit he's still taking some punishment, but he's having a real dig. Good body shot there from Brad Pole. The Kiwi, he comes firing on.
It's almost as if he's figured out, okay, things are not going to plan here and this is going to end quickly, so I'm going to go out and I'm going to start throwing him. And we'll see what happens.
Definitely. Look at him. He's got a different look in his face. And all I dead set thought he was shot. I thought we wouldn't see the end of this round. At this stage, he's nearly even winning this round.
It's still there to be won this round. 45 seconds remaining. Pole in the blue trunks. Rullo in the straight black. Trying to sneak over the top there of that left shoulder was Pat Rullo. Was taken predominantly on the shoulder by Rule.
If I was Rullo, I'd be digging back down to the body like he did in round 2. Try and break Pole down a bit. He looks a little soft around the midsection, and I'd be digging down there, and those hands will keep coming down for him to counteract.
Now, is that a cut eye on Brad Pole? a little bit of claret from his nose that Paddy Rullo's.
I think you're right, Andy. I think there's a little nick up there.
It's just above or just in the eyebrow and in a pretty average position, it's got to be said.
There's not much blood coming out of it, but he's not in the best spot, that's for sure. Good round, that one. Probably just send it just to Pat Rullo again. What went on in round number 3 here. A much stronger and much more aggressive Brad Pole in round number 3. Pat Rullo had his moments as he used an angle there, come in, dug to the body. That was a much more competitive round.
I'll try to like him down.
Yeah, line up the front foot, but don't let him win the round. Just keep working on the left hand. Understand? Just keep going, mate. Keep the speed going. Keep that speed going. Don't have to do it. Don't have to load up.
Seconds out.
Here we move into the second half of the fight. Malcolm Bullnard says game on. Round number 4 of 6. Once again at light middleweight. Paddy Rullo made his debut all the way back in November of 07. A win just down the road here in Thomastown over Matty Williams. KO in 6, and that has been the only KO since. The only KO in his career.
Matty Williams wasn't a bad fighter. Tough young fighter. He had some tough fights going out against Josh King. He's from up at Woodridge, a shock boxing gym up near my gym. There's a good little fighter, Matty Williams. So that was a pretty good win for Pat Rullo.
2 losses on the resume of Rullo, 1 to Tui Lavini, 1 to Ray Anton Olarte.
The interesting one there, he's the journeyman, Ray Anton Olarte. Yeah. We see him here all day long. The fighter coming up later, Victor Chernous, his only loss is to Ray Anton Olarte.
Amazing.
We saw him get a good win recently on Fox Sports up at Southport as well against Casey Hannon.
Yes, at the end of 2010. And whilst Brad Pole has been dominated here and outpunched and outpowered, tell you what, Paddy Rullo's face is starting to show signs that Brad Pole maybe has fared a little bit better than maybe we've been saying.
Yeah, and as it did against Jason Konoski, he marked up a lot in that fight. And as we're seeing again here, a lot of it would be coming from that punch there, the left hook from Brad Pole. He keeps getting that punch through quite often. Brad Pole's really coming on in the back end of this fight.
Push back there, Rullo ripping to the body with the right hand. Oh, good shot. Now look at Rullo back on the front foot. Pole goes into reverse.
I thought he sensed that he heard Brad Pole to the body there, and he jumped on it, Pat Rullo.
A minute remaining, round number 4. The mouth guard almost out of Pole. Gets attacked to the body again, and changing levels nicely was the current Aussie champ.
Good shot.
What about that from Brad Pole? Almost a mix of WWE and boxing. He flung himself into the ropes, off the ropes, and with the momentum launched a left hand at the Victorian.
I heard on the boxing grapevine, Andy, I'm not sure if it's true or not, but I heard the former light middleweight champion Tyrone Tongia may be coming back to have a shot at Pat Rullo at some stage throughout the year.
Yeah, more than just a little bit of gossip. We will talk in depth about that a little bit later on tonight, but I'll whet your appetite simply by saying we have got some amazing shows coming your way on Friday Night Fights. Let's take a look at some domestic rankings while we are here in the junior middleweight, or in the middleweight division. The owners Tito Mwekchapunga, Daniel Giel, Omar Sheikh, Robbie Bryant, Peter Matrevsky Jr., Les Piper and Jared Fletcher are all there.
Yeah, Johannes Metapunga and Boom Boom Omar Sheikh. They'll meet for the Australian middleweight title April 15, Mansfield Tavern. We'll see it here on Fox Sports.
Free. Just hands your lungs. Right? Big deep, right?
Seconds out, round 5.
Seconds out.
We certainly will. If you haven't caught up on the news, our April show, April 15, an Aussie television first with 3 national titles to be contested on the one show. The Aussie lightweight title, Brett W. Smith and Mick Shaw. The Aussie junior welterweight title, Josh King and Jason Crow. And the Aussie middleweight title, Omar Sheikh and Johannes Tito Mwechupunga. 3 Aussie titles in one night of boxing.
Yeah, an absolute cracker night set up by Angelo DiCarlo and Brian Kerwin. You also see Trent Broadhurst.
Yep.
Aaron Russell, the Junkyard Dog. Ashley Owen Humble, the Baby Old. Corey McConnell. There's heaps up there coming on March and April actually. The card's up in Queensland. I thought that was Brad Pole's best round, that last round. Oh, as he eats a big right hand, and that hurt him.
Didn't it? Right to the body.
That was what I called for earlier in the last round. Pat Rullo should have been sending it back down to the body. He had success in round number 2, and here we're seeing it in round number 5 again.
Are you scoring as you're going here, Chris? Have you got it 3-1 or?
I've got it 3 rounds to Pat Rullo, and I've got 1 even round. I thought I've got to give credit to Brad Pole last round. I thought he'd come on and he had a real good dig, and I thought that was pretty even the last round. Good jab there from Pat Rullo, and we heard Ray Giles in the corner asking him to get that jab working a little bit more earlier on.
Geez, he winds up. It looks $1 million. Pat Rullo ripping into the body. I think it's testament to just how fit, how strong, and how tough Brad Pole is.
Yeah, definitely. He just comes firing back with the left hook. Look at his hands down, walk up. He's trying to intimidate Pat Rullo.
He wants to fight. He doesn't want to skip, jump and move around. He wants to stand there and throw. Both fire simultaneously there.
Pushes him off. The poleaxe Brad Pole just comes firing onto Pat Rullo.
I think the poleaxe, in fact, fancies his chances in the closing couple of rounds. I think he figures he's got momentum with him.
Definitely. The start of that round, he looked in trouble again with those body shots from Rullo. Oh, as he eats a good right hand. But this end, going on to the end of the round, he's come firing back again. This is what happened in round number 4.
There's a red river from the nose of Paddy Rullo.
Give him a bucket, give him a bucket, give him a three.
It is leaking.
No, step back.
Watch out for your dinner ringside.
I'll tell you, the poleaxe, he looks like a Jaffa at the moment as well. I'm that hungry, I'll eat that.
He doesn't. Leave us balding blokes alone.
Sorry, Andy, but talking of balding, Andy, I have got one of the best things. I'm going through the paper up in Queensland.
Yeah.
I'll come back to this. It's a good story.
Come on. Brent Pole, Pat Rullo.
Look at the cartilage out of his nose.
One more round to go, right? Suck it up.
Round number 5. Beautiful body shots from Pat Rullo early on in this round. This is early in the round, and he had Brad Pole in a little bit of trouble, but it spurred Brad Pole on. You'll see later in the round, Brad Pole comes firing back. There it is with the left hook.
Issues in the Pat Rullo corner. Dr. Peter Lewis was just in taking a look. There's a hole in the nose, basically. There's a hole in the nose, that's why so much blood.
Last time we saw that with Dominic Bay versus Oscar Ciali, that was a bloodbath.
And this is it, the 6th and final round at light middleweight. Brad Pole and Pat Rullo. Brad Pole in the blue trunks, Pat Rullo in the black.
Credit to Brad Pole, because I honestly didn't think he was going to be here at this stage of the fight. I got Pat Rullo in front, but Brad Pole is just credit to him, hats off to him. He's just been there the whole fight trying, and he come back in round 4 and 5, and I'm sure we'll see the same enthusiasm in round number 6. Now Andy up in Queensland, I'm going through the paper up there and I flick over and I'm like, what is Andy Raymond doing in the Courier Mail up here?
This is a carver.
I didn't realise it was Piggy Riddell, Mark Piggy Riddell. Dead set, the most identical pair I've ever seen. And you wouldn't have wanted to take Piggy Riddell home to your house because Mrs. Raymond would have been throwing glasses at Mr. Raymond thinking something went on a few years ago.
Sadly, the Raymond Riddell look-alike thing has been going on for too many years. He's come back from England with a haircut like mine, so it'll probably continue on.
Well, you come back from Thailand with a haircut like his, I reckon he thinks. Back to the real action. Brad Pole looks for a rest on the ropes. Oh, a little low there from Pat Rullo.
Interesting there, Pat Rullo just didn't move, did not budge, did not engage, did not follow, just stood there. So Brad Pole back against the ropes and had to move his way back out into it.
Nice and leisurely, yeah. But I think Pat Rullo's, he's just ahead in this fight, no doubt. And I just maybe thought, no need for me to chase after him, as we see the same thing happen again there.
Trying to get over the top of that left shoulder. He's used it well defensively, has Brad Pole.
Yes.
Although getting beaten, he's used that left shoulder probably more than his forearms and more than any evasive tactics.
That's just experienced. There's some nice colour coming out of Pat Rullo's nose now.
It's red, very.
Look at Brad Pole. Just
Pole
walking him down.
Doesn't want to slip a punch, doesn't want to try and slip a punch, doesn't want to move the feet, just wants to walk through and keep launching. 30 seconds remaining in the fight.
He's going to headbutt the punches and just keep on trotting after Pat Rullo. Pat Rullo knows he's ahead and he's working on the back foot, probably protecting his nose a little bit. Oh, beautiful left hook there from the pole wax. Oh, and again.
Where was this shot? A little bit earlier. Brad Pole dominating the last 30 seconds of what has been an entertaining fight here at light middleweight.
If there was a hole in Pat Rullo's nose going into that round, the rest of it's on the canvas. Massive heart shown there from Brad Pole. Great work from Pat Rullo. Really good fight.
An emotional night for that young man, Brad Pole, as we said in the lead up, from Christchurch, New Zealand. Born there, lives there, and it's been tough, real tough for Brad, his team, their families and supporters. And young man, you may not get a victory here tonight in the land down under, but you can jump back aboard the plane tomorrow with your head held high.
Thanks, mate.
You've done an excellent job.
Yeah, well, he showed that fighting spirit coming out of Christchurch, that's for sure.
A little bit of what we saw, and those left hooks at the end of the fight, they were something quite special from Brad Pole. There was the first one.
Good jab.
Then straight with it again.
Got a bit of bit of Pat Rullo's nose on the end of it, I think. Good performance there from Pat Rullo.
Yeah, we spoke about Pat Rullo and suggestions of what might be in his future. I can tell you June 3rd, our show in the middle of Rugby League's interstate showpiece, the State of Origin, is a State of Origin based night in the ring in Brisbane. It's New South Wales versus Queensland on the undercard, but our main event for the Aussie Junior Middleweight title, the man we've just seen, Pat Rullo, and Tyrone Tongia. That's June 3rd. Let's make this one official. Let's head to Howard.
Thank you, Andy. Okay, both fighters come to centre ring for a decision. Judges Tony Moreno, Anthony Hibbs and Matt Ropus all had the same opinion. Judge Tony Moreno had it 59-55. Anthony Hibbs and Matt Ropus both had the same score totals, 60-54. Unanimous points winner, blue corner, Big Pat Rullo.
Unanimous decision for Pat Rullo. A good victory, nonetheless, a good performance from Brad Pole. This is what is still to come on Friday Night Fights. Next up, we are headed into the heavyweight division. The Iron Rhino returns. In fact, there's going to be over 250 combined kilos in the ring when Clarence, Tillman and Michael Kirby meet. Our semi-main event is Victor Chernous and Steve Heremaia, and our main event, $10,000 winner-take-all. Michael Bolling and Blake Caparello will be back shortly on Friday Night Fights.
It's the super heavyweight stakes coming up on Fox Sports. The big boys of boxing.
Welcome back to Friday Night Fights, live from the purpose-built and sold-out Pavilion here in Melbourne, Victoria. The national champion Pat Rullo, a unanimous decision over Kiwi Brad Pole as we move up in weight, and we do so by plenty. The heavyweights hit centering Clarence, Tillman and the Iron Rhino, Michael Kirby. Tillman originally from the United States of America, New Orleans, Louisiana to be exact. He now resides in Auckland, New Zealand. Kirby, the Sydney sider. Let's look at the stats here, both early to mid-30s, the height and reach advantage, both to the American. And look at the scales. Whoa! 134 kilos for cool Clarence, 124 for the Iron Rhino. Let's get the boys out, Howard.
Thank you, Andy. Okay, super duper heavyweights. Would you welcome into the red corner, originally from the United States of America, now Auckland, New Zealand, Clarence Tillman. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome into the blue corner? He's a true blue Aussie from Concord, Sydney, the Iron Rhino, Michael. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, 6 rounds of international super heavyweight boxing. Would you welcome in the red corner, born in the beautiful New Orleans, Louisiana, USA, now resident Auckland, New Zealand, Coach Craig Thompson. This young man is a cousin of former top American heavyweight Henry Tillman. Professional record of 14 fights, 7 wins, 1 draw, 6 losses, 5 inside the distance. 33 years of age. Ladies and gentlemen, he tipped the scales here at the Melbourne Pavilion at a massive 134.30 kilograms last night. Will you welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Clarence Tillman. Wearing white trunks with black trim. And across the ring in the blue corner from Concord, West Sydney, New South Wales. Ranked number 4 heavyweight in Australia in Ray Wheatley's World of Boxing. Chief cornerman David Kirby, Liverpool, New South Wales. This young man brings a professional record of 12 fights, 7 wins, 1 draw, 1 no contest, 3 losses, 5 big wins by knockout. Holder of the OPBF in New South Wales Heavyweight Championships, wearing black trunks with a touch of white. At 124.80 kilograms, he's fondly known as Australia's Iron Rhino, Michael Kirby. Referee Tony Moretta, judges Samantha Bullner, Malcolm Bullner, Anthony Hibbs. 6 rounds of international super heavyweight boxing.
Now boys, obey my instructions at all times, defend yourself at all times, okay? Back to your corners, come out on the bell.
Tony Moretta, the referee in charge of the action.
And
It looked like Dickie Knee from Hey Hey It's Saturday in between Clarence Tillman and Michael Kirby.
Massive, man. If he's the Rhino, Michael Kirby, well, in the other corner, it's got to be Tyrannosaurus Rex. What's his name?
Big Clarence.
Rhinoceros Rex, or I don't know, he's a massive unit.
This is just 2 big, tough, powerful dudes that are going to swing them until someone's on their backside.
With Kirby, we haven't seen him for a while. Hasn't changed. Straight into the action, taking on the big unit.
Tillman we've seen once before against Funaki on the Central Coast. Took the fight on only 2 days' notice against the undefeated Sydney sider. He was beaten on that night, but on 2 days' notice, I guess you can understand the preparation might not have been anywhere near what it should have been.
He was dirty too when the fight got stopped that night.
Yeah, not happy. Good Western Suburbs boy is Michael Kirby. Sydney's Western Suburbs, a mad Parramatta Eels fan, and I know there's plenty of Eels watching tonight. Players and staff. Craig Catterick and the crew out there in Western Sydney. Hope you're enjoying Friday night fights.
How the boys been going in the trials then.
Yeah, look out, me and the Iron Rhino, we're Parramatta Eels tragics.
And what you're seeing here is what you're going to see for most of the fight, if it lasts the distance or however long it goes. These two are going to stand there. No need to have a ring this size. Won't be much moving around, let me tell you that much.
Look at Kirby here. Just looking for that shot, still banging away, but not loading up. Looking for that one opportunity to power up and go whack. As I said, mix of Sydney boy. Our next show is in Sydney. The main event is Ryan Waters, Gary Sinclair. The semi-main event, a state title, Hussein El Husseini and Anthony Brownlee. Zach Awad, Joel Burke's also on the card. Virgil Calicoda, Leroy Brown, and kickboxing sensation, the God of Thunder, Thor Hootman, is on the card as well. We hope you can join us. That is March 25.
Big Thor.
Thor had a recent loss to the big sting, Paul Slawinski, over there at Knees of Fury in Adelaide, South Australia. Trying his hand at the more conventional discipline for a crack. As Kirby goes over the top of what almost appears to be a shoulder of Clarence Tillman. It's like a shoulder, it's just a whole lot bigger.
Isn't it? Why?
Oh, Kirby walks into a couple of big right hands. Oh, and a left.
He might be hurt here, Kirby. He is hurt.
Walks into another right. Is the bell going to save the Iron Rhino in this, the first round?
Look at Kirby, just looks at him. He was stunned there, Kirby.
I don't know how you can hurt Michael Kirby.
Ask Solomon Amono. They try and load up bombs. Solomon just pecked away, pecked away. This guy's got the best chin in the business, let me tell you, Michael Kirby. Don't try and land one bomb on him.
Okay, huge pay-per-view event in April. It is on Fox Sports venues and Main Event TV. For all the information, log on to the brand new website at mainevent.com.au. It is, of course, the rematch. Anthony Mundine and Garth Wood live from the Brisbane Entertainment Centre, Wednesday, the 13th of April. We hope you can join us. Why is there a rematch? This is the reason, because the contender champion, he dominated on the night, stopping the man Anthony Mundine. Can he do it again, or will it be a case of revenge? Hope you can join us on 13th of April.
Kirby took some real punishment at the end of that round. Tillman's got to take, you'll use that to his advantage and get the pressure on early here.
Oh, no holding.
We saw in the corner there with the Rhino, Michael Kirby, Angelo Di Carlo, the Vaseline pest. He says to me before the fight, he's holding the bucket, Bobby Boucher, the water boy. He says, which hand do I hold the bucket in, Chris? And I'm like, Angelo, it's a bucket. There's no left and right-handed bucket. You just hold it.
No holding, boy. No holding.
He was looking for a left-handed bucket to hold.
Mike Altamara in the opposite corner. Another boxing fanatic. Helping out the T-Rex Tillman.
Nice little shot there from Kirby. A slapping right hand from the New Orleans native, who debuted back in June 08 against Jonty Wills in Las Vegas, and he was a svelte 129.3 kilos on that occasion.
That's two of me in.
Yeah. Wow. His last fight was February 11 in New Zealand against Rob Trethaway. He weighed 122 kilos. So in a month, he's popped on 12 and a half.
Christmas, he must have had a healthy Christmas, Andy. That's what it'd have to be.
3 kilos a month, that's good going in anyone's language, isn't it? Oh, Kirby with the right hand there. But the power shots and more shots are going in favour of Tillman.
Short chopping right hand there from Tillman. As I said earlier on, these guys won't move too much. Short chopping punches. Kirby should try the body a little bit. He doesn't look too fit around the body, big Tillman. Michael Kirby in any fight in Australia is entertaining for mine. This guy is just a box of entertainment. He's got a chin of granite. He keeps walking forward.
Kirby in the black trunks, Tillman in the white trunks. And the big units are throwing them. 20 seconds remaining, round number 2, a 6-round journey. It's been brutal, what will be crazy, and coming up on Fox Sports venues and Main Event is Miguel Cotto, Ricardo Mayorga. What a fight that promises to be.
Real character, Mayorga, as is Kirby here.
Let's get our win first. Suck it in, there you go.
Have a look what went on in round number 2 here. Tillman had control at the end of the first, and he had to come out and take control in the second, but Kirby wasn't going to let it go that easy. Keeps trotting forward. Tillman having success with the left hook. Good left rip there from Kirby. The short punches of what both boys are thinking are working. If I was them, I'd be digging to the body this round.
8 seconds out, round 3. It's a walk short.
We saw Pat Rullo earlier on. He was a real body snatcher. These two are headhunters.
Definitely.
Subtle. Kirby's come out in not a very good mood. And there's not many things in life that would be any worse than Michael Kirby walking at you and not being in a great mood.
Definitely. You just saw Kirby have success there at a bit more of a distance.
Yep.
Here, you're not going to hurt the T-Rex from here. Get back out a little bit, give himself some room, although he's got to be careful himself because Tillman's got, you know, obviously decent power.
Brent, step back! Step back!
Feel free to change areas of the ring there, boys. Nice body shot.
Two big units are both active members of the Facebook community, and we're both very confident coming into tonight. The last thing on their mind would be socialising with the masses at the moment, I would assume.
Definitely, they're both looking confident. No one wants to take a backward step. Defence isn't really a factor in this part of the fight. Oh, that's better from Kirby. Tillman just eats it up and comes back. All the boxers who have to cut weight and make weight hard, sitting at home having their chicken and salad, they'd be dirty at these guys. The meals these guys could eat.
Nice work there, up high on the zone from Michael Kirby, a crossing right hand.
I think we've seen Kirby land a few more shots this round just by putting his punches together a little bit more.
Michael Kirby doesn't need to cut weight, he scares weight. It leaves voluntarily when he's not in a good mood.
Good body shot there from Kirby.
Speaking of heavyweights, Rugby League enforcer Big Carl Webber has dropped a couple of kilos in the off-season. There's a couple of suggestions that he wants to step back in the ring at the end of the season. Of course, fought Scotty Lewis on the Contender Australia final card at the Sydney Entertainment Centre at the start of 2010.
Ran out of steam a little bit towards the end of the fight there, which didn't help him.
He is looking $1 million, my man Big Charlie, and high hopes for 2011.
One man you wouldn't want running at you. You get him fit, he could be one of the best players in the NRL, Carl Webb. Tillman, he's still firing away, but the jaw's open a little bit more, but he's still digging in. That's Kirby just keeps digging to the body this round.
Is it enough to take the round though?
I don't know. One of those fights that I would hate to be a judge of.
I would hate to be scoring this one in the heavyweight division. I tell you who has got the job: Anthony Hibbs, Malcolm Bullner and Sam Bullner. Let's take a look at the heavyweight rankings as they stand as of February this year. Justin Whitehead is the champion, and in May, all things being equal, it is booked that he faces the number 3 in action at the moment, Michael Kirby. Alex Leopai and Peter Cronje are on the cards. Bobby Mirovic is making a return, or has made a return, should I say, and he has got dreams of becoming a 4-time champion. Colin Wilson and Sasaya Funaki, the undefeated Sasaya Funaki. You throw in guys on the periphery at the moment like Lucas Big Daddy Bound, banging Benny Edwards from the national capital. The heavyweight division is starting to look a little bit all right again.
Domestically, if you can get all these guys together, like we're going to see Michael Kirby, Justin Whitehead, there's some excellent fights out there for Australian fight fans. Kirby come out, use the jab, yeah. And I think if he just stayed off a little bit, he could have a lot more success with that.
He's a genuine fighter and a genuine tough nut, but gee, he can box as well, Michael Kirby.
Definitely.
Record in his last 5 fights, 4-1, all of them inside the distance, but has only had the 2 fights in the last 12 months.
Work out of it. Work out of it.
Oh, good work.
That is nice.
He had his body weight behind him that time, Kirby, and he let it go.
And he's just taken a few there. The receipt was a good one from the T-Rex.
Both these guys, massive units, chins of granite, and they're just still here. Round number 4, still in the phone box, firing away.
Father of 4, Michael. Lovely wife, Anna, no doubt watching on from their Sydney base tonight. Former New South Wales champion. Defeated our good friend Paddy Kennedy at Cronulla back in 2007. Nice shot there from Kirby.
Will the ladies be dirty at Pat Kennedy? Just went off the market, a married man now.
Just over a minute remaining, round number 4.
Oh, short chopping right hand from Kirby and the left hook to follow. Oh, but the uppercut from the T-Rex and the right hook from Tillman.
Both big men, the longer it goes. Tillman's going to run out of steam, and has that started because he's taking a few big shots here from the Iron Rhino.
I thought the eyes disappeared a little bit there on Tillman.
Get back, mate.
He might be just about done. There's still a little bit of time for Kirby. I said that in the last fight, so don't trust my judgment, I guess. Brad Pole proved me wrong. He fired off till round number 6.
Short little shots from the inside at the moment. Again, both men still willing to work, but not willing to load up unnecessarily.
I'm not sure they got it in him, Andy.
Watch that head. Watch those heads explode.
With sporting teams and elite individuals in 2011, it's the norm. You go and have a Gatorade, you have a muffin, you rehydrate, you do all the right things. I'm proud to say these two boys will probably go and enjoy half a dozen skewies at the end of this one, and they deserve it.
Tillman's nearly shot the big unit. As we have a look at the what went on in that round. Short shots, that's the name of the game for these two big guys. Short chopping punches. Short right hand, short left hand. Tillman fires back, gets some good shots of his own. Identical, both of the guys. Oh, nice left hook there from Tillman, and one back for Kirby.
Yeah, he's buckled a couple of times to the body. All right, so 2 rounds. Don't give him anything cheap.
2 rounds remain. Brian Wilmot calling the shots in the corner with Angelo De Caro in second.
We saw Kirby do that at the start of the last round. He come out using the jab, he had success. Then we end up back in here. Get on the jab and dig to the body as Tillman lets a flurry go that looks like Floyd Mayweather.
He's got nice little short crossing shots, hasn't he? A nice roll of the wrist from Clarence Tillman.
I think it's worked for him in the past, and he knows that out of the distance to fire on those long shots, too much energy out there, he reckons.
He had 7 fights in his homeland, the United States. Initially, Clarence Tillman, his last 8 have been across the season. Look at this from the T-Rex and the Iron Rhino. He responds in tune.
Where did that burst come from, both guys? Tillman nearly knocked Kirby's head off, and Kirby just eats it up and comes firing back.
Break! Get back! Keep the punches up, mate. Keep the punches up.
He didn't even hear what the referee said. He's just straight back into it. He can sense a Tillman tiring a little bit here in round number 5. Oh, nice short right uppercut there from the Rhino.
Work on. Work out of it. Stop leaning, Jen. Stop leaning. Stop leaning.
Kirby should, as the T-Rex leans on Kirby, should just do a little pivot. T-Rex will just go flying through and Kirby can attack off that.
Average fight length for Michael Kirby is 5 3/4 rounds. And we are just about at that point now. Oh! Bam!
Both of them.
Get him up, Clarence. Get him up.
Oh, Clarence. He's come to fight this time. Oh, a little low. Suggestion it was a little low from Michael Kirby on that occasion. Unintentional.
Every now and then, Tillman just comes back with some big shots.
Sit back. Come on. Sit back. Right back.
He just looks done and dusted, doesn't he?
That was a reasonably carefree punch. A lazy punch from Clarence, just illustrating his fatigue. And Kirby, the last couple of seconds, he wants them to belong to him. Round 5 done and dusted. Have they got 3 minutes more left in them?
The bell went. There was a massive deep breath from both boxers.
3 more minutes, finish the shit off strong, all right? 3 on 1, bro. 3 minutes, yeah, get some water in.
Watch the head, Clarence, mate, okay? Watch the head.
We'll have a look at what went on in round number 5. Moving into the last round as Tillman had some success with those massive bombs and it just spurred Kirby on. He come firing back. Here we'll go, we'll see it come back. Here comes Kirby. If you hit me, I'm going to hit you back.
Oh, wow.
Oh, the rhino.
You know what, if you're allowed to swear on air, I would have dropped a couple of absolute beauties over the course of this fight, because that's probably the only way a genuine Aussie can describe a genuine heavyweight fight like this. Michael Kirby and Clarence Tillman, for 6th time, head centering, head into the middle of the war zone, and 3 two-punch combinations from the Iron Rhino to start the round.
There we see a little bit of distance, and there's those shots again. Now we'll see him head back in close again, and they'll just fire away. Oh, nice little head movement there from Kirby, and he comes back for left hook. I just don't feel safe when they're on top of us, Andy, here, these big units. Here we go, I'm in trouble here.
Well, Tillman. Oh, he was rocked again with the left hook there of Michael Kirby.
Right back.
Good Kirby. Pushing forward, not allowing Tillman out.
Knowing Kirby, he'll probably look over and have a chat to us here.
Nice body shot from Michael Kirby. Short.
These boys will be sore tomorrow, that's for sure.
The back. Mike, come over here, boy. Boy, I'm giving you the first warning to bury you. Watch those fires, okay? Watch your head.
Oh, there's nothing in that. There's no intention. They're fatigued, that's it.
Tony Moretta might have just been giving them a break halfway through the round there.
I think so. There's nothing in that at all. I think, you know, let them have a rest.
Tony's done the right thing here, the little bloke, hasn't he? Just let these two behemoths do their thing and sort out their issues by themselves.
I'd say it's smart, Andy. Why would you want to get in between these two?
No.
They'll eat this guy up. We've seen this from round 1 to round 6. The exact same pattern, but some rounds one lands better and the next round the other one does.
Yeah, very little has changed, hasn't it, in the flow of the fight?
I haven't even bothered trying to score this fight. I really, feel for the judges.
There's Sam Bullner, Malcolm Bullner, Anthony Hibbs, the 3 ringside judges, to determine the outcome, because with 45 seconds to go, we are headed to the judges' scorecards. Don't forget, Up next, our semi-main event, Victor Chernous, Steve Heremaia, and our main event, $10,000. Winner takes all at light heavyweight, the natural division of local Blake Caparello, stepping up from super middleweight to light heavyweight, the Sydney sider, Michael Bolling. That is still to come on Friday Night Fights.
Boys are still going. We got 13 seconds to go and they're still in the same spot.
Final couple of seconds. A betting man would have suggested this is not going the distance. I thought there would have been a knockout.
Me too. After round 2, I didn't think we'd see this part of the fight. Kirby should scrape home. Tough one to score. I'd hate to come up with the numbers.
As we said, the three people are Anthony Hibbs, Sam Bullner and Malcolm Bullner. They are the ones in charge of putting in. Now, every round is scored, if you're not familiar with boxing, every round is scored on what we term the 10 points must system. The winner of each individual round gets 10 points. Their opponent, 9 or less. So you can look at an entire fight and say, I think this guy won the fight, but breaking it down into individual 3-minute periods often proves one of boxing's downfalls or one of boxing's real great issues and great things. It's difficult depending on which side of the decision you're on.
Yeah, that's right. We have a look what went on in the final round. Pretty easy work for Brian Barnard and his team out the back to get some highlight packages from this fight, because the same thing went on from round 1 to round 6. It was just which punches you wanted to pick to put in the roll. Credit to both guys, they just launch off the attack. End of the fight, thank God, they say. Look at the Rhino, he's got the face pose on. Looks like he wants another 6, the Rhino. Says he's ready for Whitehead. He can't wait for big Justin Whitehead.
Yeah, a heavyweight war.
The big Bendigo policeman
for the national title. Let's go centering to Howard. Time to make it official.
Yes, we will, Andy Raymond. Okay, how about a big round of applause for these two warriors? They never moved from more than about a centimetre around the ring. We have a unanimous decision. Our 3 judges all have the same score totals, 59-55. That's Samantha Bullner, Anthony Hibbs and Malcolm Bullner. Your winner, blue corner, the White Rhino, Michael Kirby.
59-55 on all 3 judges' scorecards of Michael Kirby. He now has a date for the Australian heavyweight title with the current champion Justin Whitehead. Still to come on Friday Night Fights, our semi-main event, the boxer and the power. Victor Chernous and Steve Heremaia at catchweight, 8 3-minute rounds. Now main event, 10 grand, winner takes all. Michael Bolling, Blake Caparello will be back after the break right here on Friday Night Fights.
39E for Elvis. Colin, 39E and a white ticket. Congratulations. Colin, 39.
Welcome back to Fox Sports Friday Night Fights. A heavyweight war we have just seen, and war is the key word. Michael Kirby and Clarence Tillman have done their thing in centre ring and on all three judges' scorecards, 59-55 to Kirby. Our semi-main event is now at catchweight, 8 3-minute rounds. Victor Chernous, now based out of Sydney, originally from the Ukraine, up against Steve Heremaia. He's a South Auckland boy in New Zealand. Let's look at the tail of the tape, the stats and maths that really matter. Both mid-20s and weighing in a little heavier, Victor Chernous. Let's go to Howard.
Okay, Andy, welcome to our semi-main event. Would you welcome, ladies and gentlemen, in the blue corner from South Auckland, created an enormous impression here last year in a Brian Amateur to Barry Michael show. Would you welcome Steve Heremaia, New Zealand. Okay, would you welcome into the red corner in this 8 rounds of international catchweight boxing, Australian champion Victor the Hurricane Chernous. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our semi-main event on Fox Sports on a Brian Amateur Barry Michael Spectacular at the new Melbourne Pavilion, the multimedia centre of boxing. Would you welcome in the blue corner from South Auckland, New Zealand, Coach Chris Martin. He created an enormous impression late last year against Samuel the Lion Columban here at the inaugural night of the Melbourne Pavilion. 22 fights, 16 wins, 1 draw, 5 losses, 7 inside the distance. Wearing black trunks with white and red at 66.60 kilograms. Fondly known as New Zealand's Mini Tyson, Steve Heremaia. And across the ring with world champ Barry Michael, joining former Australian light heavyweight champion, Melbourne's own Ivan the Terrible Rukovina. This young boxer from Venetsa, Ukraine, now living, ladies and gentlemen, in Yaguna, New South Wales. Ladies and gentlemen, at 67.20 kilograms. New South Wales welterweight and light middleweight champion. Currently Australian welterweight champion. 12 fights, 11 wins, only 1 loss, 4 inside the distance. Wearing a touch of gold with black. Would you welcome the man they call the Hurricane, Victor Chernous. Referee Tony Moreno, judges Samantha Bullner, Anthony Hibbs and Matt Ropis. 8 rounds of international catchweight boxing.
Okay, guys. Obey my instructions at all time. Defend yourselves at all time, okay? Back to your corner now. Come out on the bell. Back to your corner, guys. Let's go. Thank you.
Back to your corner twice with the instructions from our referee, Tony Moretta. Both guys were quite happy to stand centre ring and eyeball. Steve Heremaia across the ring from that man, Victor Chernous. He is like, he's caged at the moment and just waiting to be unleashed.
Isn't he? What? Look at Chernous. He's just calm and relaxed, and Heremaia wants to kill him.
He wants to rip his head off in the nicest possible way, of course.
This is going to be a cracker.
At catchweight, catchweight of 67.2, Chernous in the black trunks with the gold writing. And the black solid is Steve Heremaia, heavily tattooed.
Ooh. Dangerous boys, both boys.
Look at this from Heremaia. Steve Heremaia, 22 fights, 16 wins, 7 inside the distance, 1 draw on his resume. His last fight was November last year, a defeat at the hands of Sam Columban at Flemington.
Chernous got his hands nice and high. He'd know that Stephen Heremaia is a very tough, very strong puncher. His hands are nice and high. We saw him against Ray Musson at the end of last year down at Campbelltown, and I thought, you know, he cruised through that fight, and I just thought his defence was a little laxy-daisy, but we can see here tonight his hands are tight.
My ribs are sore. Sitting ringside. I'd hate to know what Victor Chernous is feeling.
I think we're going to see a lot of this tonight. Look at Chernous's marks on his right rib cage already.
That'll aid you in a real hurry.
Certainly will.
Now, can Chernous afford to engage in the same manner in retaliation, or does he have to keep the cool head and say, okay, I'm going to play this smart?
Yeah, he's just got to stick with Heremaia. At early stages of the fight, a puncher that's when they're at their risk. Stay with them, you know, try and scrape the round by outboxing them. If they don't, you know, round 1 and round 2 is the most dangerous. You're cold, you know, punches, you feel them a little bit more.
Oh, Heremaia rocked by Chernous. Was it more of a trip or a slip, or was it part of a shot?
I think he might have just been a little off balance. But if you can point out to, you know, the people at home in a lot of the fights that we've seen tonight and that we see, you know, throughout all the years here in Australia, balance and footwork is everything. And look at the balance of these two guys. Their feet are at shoulder width apart, their knees are bent, their backs are semi-straight, they've got perfect balance and posture, and that's where power comes from.
Chernous in that same position with 20 seconds remaining in round 1. That's where he had success earlier with that left hand of his.
Look at that dig into the body from Heremaia.
Chernous, Heremaia, 1 round down. It is scheduled for 8. Let's have a look at Chernous and his win over Ray Musson on the 25th of November last year. And he really broke the Kiwi down. It was a complete performance. That probably best sums it up.
Yeah, definitely. And as I said earlier, his defence worried me a little because in this fight, obviously different opponent, but his defence wasn't as good as it probably should have been. But here tonight you can see a difference from the start. His hands are tight, his defence is solid. One thing I liked about Victor Chernous is the way he does the little things in boxing. Like I just said, the balance, the technique, his eye, the way he slipped. Perfect example, Costa-Zoo was one of the best at it. You know, he's got his big wins against Shamba Mitchell and Zab Judah. But for mine, my favourite fights to watch, and I watch them time and time again, was Ben Taki, was Julio Cesar Chavez, was even in his loss against Ricky Hatton. The little things he did them brilliantly, as you're seeing a lot in Victor Chernous.
Round number 2, and Chernous not engaging in the brawl, but more front foot, more initiating.
Yeah, he's trying to walk Heremaia back a little bit. Easier said than done, but at this stage it's working. But he's got to be careful he doesn't walk onto something.
That is the danger when you're in against a guy like Heremaia. Heremaia debuted back in 2005 and did so with power. First round KO victory over Ali Nizzi in Auckland. 23 fights on. He's got a KO record of about 1/3. So too Victor Chernous. So really you're probably not expecting a stoppage statistically here, but literally I am.
If we see it, they're going to break each other down, these guys. And so far what I've seen in 1.5 rounds, they're nearly identical in posture, in technique, in style.
Originally scheduled to be at welterweight, now fought at catchweight. News over the recent days, former Aussie welterweight champ Matty Pauly announcing his retirement after a recent loss to Matty and the family. Wishing you all the best in the next stage of life outside of the ring.
Had some good times in Australian boxing, Matty Pauly.
Didn't he? Oh, nice shot there, left hook from Steve Heremaia. Both nicely balanced athletes.
Perfect balance.
And both really sitting down on their shots, and it means you're going to get full power and full reward for everything you throw.
Yeah, and in a pre-telecast fight we saw Lauren Eagle fight against a Kiwi opponent, Bronwyn Wiley, and I pointed out in that fight to you, Andy, that her balance and her feet, she really needs to work on, and this is what I'm talking about. This is balance and this is footwork, and that's what gives you power. That's where your punches come from. That gives you defense. It gives you everything.
3 pre-telecast fights. Neil Guy Sears and Ashley McDermott, 2 young men on debut, fought out a draw. Sarah Howard defeated Sherry Stewart, and this young lady is something very, very special. And Bronwyn Wiley was too good, won a split decision over Lauren Eagle. 3 pre-telecast fights. The main card live on Australia's sports leader, Fox Sports.
Yeah, I was real impressed with Sarah Howard. She was a fit, strong, got a good future in Australian boxing. Some good fights out there for her, that's for sure.
Now, once again, our April show, an Aussie TV first with 3 national titles all on the one show. The Aussie lightweight title, Brett W. Smith, Mick Shaw. The junior welterweight strap, Josh King and Jason Crow. And the middleweight title, Omar Sheikh and Johannes Tito Noetjapunga.
Yeah, make the things easier, very easy. And when you make it easy, make it play. When you go down, don't go down and don't do nothing.
Okay, we mentioned the pre-telecast fights earlier. This is Sarah Howard and Sherry Stewart. That is Sarah in the all black, and has got great body on her, athletically speaking, of course, and technically just sensational.
Wasn't she? Very fit and strong. Look, and that body shot, that kept her opponent on the ground for at least 30 to 45 seconds.
It was only a 3rd pro fighter, only lost, I think it was to Erin McGowan.
Yeah.
And she went in a bit underdone on that one, but wow.
Erin McGowan just recently won a world title as well over in Perth. We've seen, everyone, who's a boxing fan, we see thousands and thousands of fights, but this is personally my ideal fight. I love this style. I love watching the small things about boxing. The technique from the stare down from Heremaia trying to intimidate him, and Chernous didn't engage in it. Here we're seeing tight defense, we're seeing balance, we're seeing trying to break each other down. This is what I love to watch. You can be as flashy as you want, but this is me.
Digging into the ribcage on both sides is Chernous, a minute into round number 3, an 8-rounder as our semi-main.
You can see Chernous is...
Oh, nice little uppercut from
beautiful
Victor.
short punch. He's trying now to do what Heremaia did to Chernous in the first round. Tried to dig to the body, but this whole round, Chernous is just after Heremaia's body.
Victor Chernous, former Ukrainian.
Big shots.
You could hear that in the Ukraine, I'll tell you. 170 plus amateur fights, multi-time Ukraine representative. He fought at the World Championships, now resides in Sydney, New South Wales. Gee, we're glad to have him too.
Yeah.
Added some depth and more quality to the welterweight and surrounding divisions.
He won the Australian title from James Giltro, who beat Jason Konoski once again up in Queensland, and Chernous outboxed Giltro that night, and I spoke to James about it, and he just said he was just such a crafty boxer, he just couldn't catch him on the night. We're seeing now Heremaia on the back foot. For the whole 2 minutes of this round, Heremaia's been on the back foot non-stop, and I think this is the start of Chernous breaking him down.
Look at this from Victor. This is not dissimilar to what he did to Ray Musson, a countryman of Heremaia's.
All due respect to Ray Musson, but I think Heremaia is a little better opponent.
Yeah.
But you can see Chernous now, his balance is down, he's slipping punches, he's coming in behind him. He's still got to be very careful, as Heremaia there just shows what he's still got.
Final 20 seconds of the round.
He is a fit-looking guy, Heremaia, isn't he?
And not gone yet. When you've got that much power and bad intentions, you're always in a fight.
Oh, I think we'll probably see this go for the whole 8 rounds, unless one of them catch each other.
End of the round, they tap them up. Now semi-main event, it will continue 3 rounds down. Now next time we're up on Friday Night Fights is Friday, March 25, again an 8 p.m. Eastern kickoff. Again, your venue is Fox Sports 1 and 1 HD. Ryan Waters and former world champion Gary Superman Sinclair, Hussein El Husseini and Anthony Brownlee for a state welterweight title. We hope you can join us March 25.
Get off, hit him. Okay? That was
We have a look what went on in that round, and for mine it was Chernous walking down Heremaia and digging away to the body, as we see there. That was the game plan, I think, from Victor Chernous, was to try and break him down. You'll see him dig to the body again. There he goes. Still very, very risky at the moment here, mate. He's like a little pit bull. Look at him.
2 men meet centre ring, round number 4.
I first saw Stephen Heremaia as many years ago, before he turned professional. New Zealand brought a team over to Queensland up in Maryborough, and fights are pre-matched in that way, and they send over some names and you match your guys up. Well, over came a name, Stephen Heremaia, 17, had a handful of fights. They asked, did Trent Broadhurst want to fight him? I said, well, Trent's only 15, but yeah, he's pretty good. He could probably give that away. Anyway, as a good coach probably does, or a smarter coach, he finds the books of New Zealand sitting there. So I take the book and I have a look through Stephen Heremaia's book. I find out he's the New Zealand senior champion, and I'm going, I'm not putting this kid. Trent's 15 years old. On the night, turned out luck was on Trent's side. He got up by 1 point. A massive win for Trent. But looking at it, I was scared on the outside of the ring. This guy had tattoos, braided hair. I was thinking, who is this guy? We can't put our guy in with this kid.
He's got some tats and some reasonably honest ones.
Oh, he's got a decent stare on him, that's for sure.
Gee, Chernous' work rate has been exceptional. Probably barring that opening round. The opening round, I think he was probably more cautious.
Yeah, and that's a smart fight. 170 fights under his belt. This guy knows what he's doing. He's been in with world champion amateur fighters. He fought his way out of Ukraine to be here. He knows what he's doing. Go out and have a look. The smartest fighters go and look.
Only 1 loss on his record as a professional for Victor Chernous.
Is that one I think we spoke about, Ray Antonolate from memory?
Yep. Won 8 in a row, so looking to make it a 9-fight winning streak. A minute remaining, round number 4.
Oh, look at this. Beautiful work. Good left hook from Heremaia. What a body shot. Stephen Heremaia, he's still got heaps of fire in him. Is he sucking Chernous in?
Both men bruised and banged up. Their ribs are red. And we're not even halfway home yet. Speaking a little bit about what is coming up on Fox Sports, another card that is confirmed as June 24th on the Gold Coast. And our headline act, Les Sherrington versus Nader Hamden, Part 2. They did it at the end of last year. I didn't get to see the fight from all reports. An absolute beauty. And we are going to do it live on Fox Sports. June 24 on the Gold Coast. An undercard that features a couple of state titles as well.
Holding this very, very hold. Okay? Yeah. You're winning. To the right hand, to the body more. Straight more punches. Don't let him think about it. Keep the pressure on. Keep the pressure on. Be careful. You're winning. Tell him you're too strong.
We'll have a look at what went on in round number 4, and it was pretty similar to round number 3. Chernous walking down Heremaia, digging to the body, but Heremaia had his moments, that's for sure. He's still got a lot of fight left in him. You heard in Victor's corner, they want Victor to keep walking down Heremaia, keep leaving him on the back foot. Boxing's such a respectful sport. You know, these guys are there to hurt each other. Look, let's not you know, make it sound any better, but
no, that's what it is.
It's a fine art and it's a fine sport, but they're out there to hurt each other and win this fight. You saw the beautiful right hook and combination from Heremaia. You saw the stare down from Heremaia. It was deadly. It would have scared anyone on the outside. As you get going in the fight, round 1, no one touched gloves. They walked away from each other. Round 2, they touched gloves. Round 3, you see a real respect coming out, and you'll see at the end of each round now a massive respect from each guy, because you know the initial confrontation's gone, but now it's you know the respect to start coming out.
Into the corner is where Victor Chernous was trying to place Steve Heremaia. I don't know if that is in Victor's best interest, as trying to cage his opponent, so to speak.
Heremaia is very, very dangerous.
Neither man has been hard to find. In fact, Chernous has been probably front foot boxing more so than Steve Heremaia in the last 2 or 3 rounds.
And to be honest, Andy, that's the best way to do it. If you, look at that, beautiful Heremaia. If your defence is good enough and if you can do the right thing and you know what you're doing, the best way to take power off a power puncher is put him on the back foot.
Yep.
But you can see he's still very dangerous, Steve Heremaia. As Chernous comes in, he's got to be careful that he doesn't walk into a power hook from Stephen Heremaia.
Walking into a power puncher, though, again, it goes back to the equation, risk versus reward.
That's right, yeah.
How much are you willing to sacrifice in case it doesn't go your way?
Well, I can tell you, if he's on the back foot, Victor Chernous, Heremaia is going to double his power. He's going to be chasing after him and breaking him down. Exactly the way that Chernous is doing it to Heremaia.
Inside the final minute, round number 5. Oh, Heremaia still with plenty of explosion left in that right hand.
Power on both sides, Heremaia.
And Chernous keeps his punches so straight, keeps everything so tidy.
The technique of the punch is what you know is just superb. It's brilliant to watch.
It's almost second nature now. I guess you have 170 on amateur fights. You're into your, your 13th pro fight. You know when something's coming back at you. You sense it, and he's very good at evading shots.
Yeah, he's got a great eye. As I said back when he fought Ray Munson last year, his eye is just—it's just unbelievable.
Sam Columba, who will be on future cards over the course of 2011. At a table with some of the Armatruda Michael crew, including Wild Will Tomlinson, I think, is here as well.
Beautiful hand speed.
This is Columban. Last time we saw him against Delarante and absolutely poleaxed.
Beautiful combination there from Columban.
Seconds out, round 6.
Yeah, I saw Columban and Will Tomlinson and Heath Ellis all over at that table.
Yes.
We are boxing on. We are doing so in round number 6 live on Australia's sports leader, Fox Sports. Our semi-main event coming your way. Fight 4 of 5. Up next, Michael Bolling, Blake Caparello, 10 grand winner takes all. For the meantime, winner takes bragging rights right here.
Beautiful jab from Chernous. I could just sit and watch this all day long. These guys could just keep fighting.
Heremaia boxing from the back foot. He opts to circle to his left-hand side.
It's just a natural movement for an orthodox fighter.
Still striking with plenty of power.
Oh, he's got decent power, hasn't he?
But I tell you what, Victor Chernous, his defence, his forearm collects and his glove collects. Percentages are right up there. Just as I say that, he wears a left hook, but he's able to catch a lot on the forearms and on the gloves.
And that's smart work. And I called earlier on in our introduction and throughout the night that my worry for Chernous was his lack of defence, because I'd only seen the fight with 3 months and I was super impressed, but I thought his defence wasn't the best. But here tonight, it has been just impeccable. It's brilliant. And anyone lesser, if Victor Chernous had a lesser defence, they'd be knocked out by now. Still, I don't know how things are going to pan out, but he's got to continue the way he's doing it, and he should come home victor. Victor should be a victor. It's even hard, you know, to think, you know, what would work for Stephen Heremaia. What would be the best thing for him?
Yep.
For mine, I would say rough it up. Get Victor back on the back foot and make it a real hard fight. Forget the boxing technique, because at this stage, brilliant. At this stage, he's in the fight, but he's probably behind.
Actually, you make a very good point, because as brutal and as power punching as Steve Heremaia is, technically he is very sound. He hasn't turned it into an ugly brawl. It's all been technically good.
Right. Yeah. He's excellent to watch, but at this stage, Chernous is a slight edge on top of him, and he's got to find something different, or we're going to see a continuation of this. And for mine, I'd say to Steve, mate, let's get out round number 6 or 7 and let's just change it up and let's just rough him up a little bit. Oh, I love seeing this. I want to see this. But if we're looking to try and change things and get a win, he's got the power to knock Victor Chernous out at any second of the fight.
To the body he goes again.
There you go. I said we'll see him touching gloves a lot more. The respect is there, and that's just the way boxing is. Very rarely do you see people really hate each other.
Stay there and see what's coming. Looking good. But you're so good at the spots. You got to do it consistently. They got 2 rounds taken home. Dominate.
What a venue this is. Purpose-built, state-of-the-art, and simply magnificent. Hope you're enjoying it as much as we.
I love it. Best venue I've seen around Australian boxing, definitely.
Seconds out, round 7.
Neither guy even blowing whatsoever.
Round number 7 we are into.
Credit to both guys' fitness here. Heremaia just looks like he's trying to move Chernous around and come from a few different angles there. It was a good move.
As I said earlier, both guys with a knockout ratio of just on 33%. Now, if you had have asked me without looking at the stats, I would have said both was well and truly above 50%.
Yep.
Just the impression.
I think, you know, in credit to Stephen Heremaia, we're at welterweight, or pretty much welterweight tonight. But the guys fought all the way up to middleweight.
Yes.
You know, and look at he should be at a light welterweight. He should not be anything over a welterweight, to be honest.
No.
With his stature, but he's got serious power still at welterweight. And if I was him, I wouldn't move from this division.
No, you wouldn't go up 3 kilos.
No need for it. He's only short, but he's still brought his power down to this weight. And there's some excellent fights out there for this guy. Oh, look at that. Beautiful.
Yeah, it was a great right hand, a rolling right hand from Heremaia. Chernous walks into a stiff left jab.
The thing that Stephen Heremaia's got, he's actually got a decent boxing brain as well. Like, he knows what he's doing out there. He's trying to outthink Victor Chernous. It's not only a boxing match, it's a chess match. At this stage, Victor's just scraping over top of him, but it's not over yet.
Just over a minute remaining, round number 7. Only 3 more minutes after this. An 8-round journey. Our main event, Bolling and Caparello, that is up next.
See, Heremaia's got the UFC pants style fights on.
Yeah.
Maybe involved in a little cage fighting over there in his hometown. Oh, big left hook there from Victor Chernous, and it was off a flurry from Stephen Heremaia.
Is he buckled? You need more than that to stop this young man.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's just like a rock, Stephen Heremaia. One thing really, really important. Victor Chernous is winning this fight. I'm not a judge, obviously, but in my eye, I see Victor Chernous winning this fight. When you've got a style of fight like this, or like the Filipino fighters we see here in Australia, at all stages of the fight, they've still got a lot of power. So the second that you drop your intensity or you drop your concentration, you're going to be flat on your back. So Victor Chernous got to be very careful that he has concentration all the way through to the end of the fight.
Last round coming up. That's our main event.
More hands, please. More hands. The body to the hand. 2 seconds. 3 more minutes. Sit. You have to have it. Be careful. You're gonna come out wounded probably. He's behind. Yeah, I believe he's behind, but close.
Round number 7, pretty much like round number 2 to round number 7 have all been the same. And it's beautiful technique, it's beautiful balance.
There hasn't been a lot of difference, has there? It's been a very similar pattern, a very competitive pattern, but a very similar pattern.
Yeah, I think you're right, Andy. I think we saw in the first round Heremaia come flying out and he really put it on Victor Chernous, but from round 2 on, it's been a very similar pattern.
And the final round.
Walk the corner, please. Good corner, walk the corner. Touch off, guys. Touch off.
They touch him up because this is the 8th and final round, and an opportunity now for Victor Chernous to go on to a decisive win. Steve Heremaia, who's moved into that southpaw stance. He's an accomplished switch hitter, but he's moved into a left-hand stance, and an opportunity for him to win this one, but he needs a knockout.
Yep, and that's exactly why he's gone to southpaw. Like I said earlier, you need to change it up, not keep going the same pattern, maybe rough it up, make it untidy. He's switched to left-handed stance, and that's his chance for a knockout. Something completely different than what Victor Chernous has seen for the 7 rounds so far.
Watch out, no pushing.
And the other interesting aspect in this, they're both welterweight fighters. They come in just over the welterweight limit. Well, the difference between welterweight and light middleweight is theoretically where they're at, even though they're just over the welterweight limit, is 8-ounce gloves and 10-ounce gloves. So you put these guys, take off an extra half a kilo, you put these guys in 8-ounce gloves. Imagine that again. We're looking at this in 10-ounce.
That'd be a lot sorer.
Oh, definitely.
Tell you that.
You see Victor Chernous just going to drop his hands there, but if I was Victor, I'd just keep him up, keep doing what's worked from round 2 onwards. I'll enjoy watching these two guys any day of the week. Beautiful combination, fast hands, aggressive boxing there from Stephen Heremaia.
Big, watch the elbow, don't push him, Victor.
Minute remaining in the 8th and final round. Thirteenth fight for Chernous as a pro, for Heremaia 23rd.
That's the dangerous side of Stephen Heremaia. He dropped back, he let his hands come down a little, and he took a small shot. If he drops him and takes a big shot, well, it could be all over. Ooh, nice right hand there from Stephen Heremaia.
Yep, and he's even though Chernous is in his face and pushing forward, Heremaia is still forced to get onto the front foot to find his target. That's how good Chernous is at moving left, moving right, moving back.
Distance.
Yep. Look at that as an example there, that left-hand, right-hand combination of Heremaia. He got himself out of the way, Chernous, but did so by an inch or two only. That's all he needed to.
Yeah, and that's, you know, when we call it, or I say a lot of about distance and balance on your feet, you know, to other fighters. I'm not being disrespectful to those guys. You know, I wasn't perfect myself, but when I say, you know, this is good balance and this is good distance, this is an ideal situation.
Tap them up again. Great respect. That is Oz Boxing between Steve Heremaia and Victor Chernous.
I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Let's take a look at the welterweight rankings as they stand in this great country of ours. We've just seen the champion do his thing, and isn't there some quality here? Owalio Matoso, Sam Columban in the crowd. Noafel Ben Rabar from WA, who's back in a big way. James Giltro in Queensland. Dilshad Marmadov from the Blacktown Hit Squad with Lincoln Hudson, Fidel Turkle and crew. Undefeated in 4. And Jordan G. Hoy from Queensland. They are your Super 7 as it stands. Still doing the maths here, I believe.
Yeah, it should be pretty clear cut. I'd say it's 7-1.
Yeah.
But in saying that, it sounds 7-1. It's like Victor Chernous had a massive victory. It was still a very, very close fight. Chernous just scraped over each round.
That's what I was sort of talking about earlier with the 10 points must system and the scoring and the way it works. Very, very difficult. When you see a fight at 79, 73 or something along those lines, you think, wow, that's one-sided. Well, in some instances it may be, in some instances it may not be. As we take a look at some of the highlights, let's go to Howard to make it official centre ring.
Thank you, Andy. Okay, both fighters to centre ring, ladies and gentlemen. We have a majority decision. Judge Samantha Bullner had it 79 Chernous, 74 to Heremaia. Judge Anthony Hibbs had a draw, 77-77. Final card, Matt Ropus, 77-76. Your winner, majority, red corner, Victor Chernous.
Majority decision, Victor Chernous, 79-74 on one scorecard, a 77-76, and then a 77 all. Now, 3 different judges, 3 different sides of the ring. Main event is up next. Stick around. This is Friday Night Fights. Welcome back to Friday Night Fights. That is for the winner. I'm talking about the check. 10 grand because it is main event time. Winner takes all at light heavyweight between Michael Bolling and Blake Caparello. Bolling from Sydney, Caparello from Melbourne. Bolling has the experience, both men with fabulous form lines. The height and reach only just to the Victorian, and the weight difference 1.2 kilos again to the natural light heavyweight. Let's make it official, get the boys out. Main event time on Friday Night Fights.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome in the red corner from New South Wales, Michael Bolling. Okay, would you welcome in the blue corner from Essendon Bar, Greenvale, Victoria, the Greenvale Gladiator, Blake Caparello. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Centre Ring. Brian Amateur to Barry Michael Sports. Our main event at the Melbourne Pavilion. 8 rounds of boxing set at light heavyweight. Would you welcome first in the red corner from Roseland, Sydney, New South Wales. A record of 13 fights, 12 wins, only 1 loss, 10 inside the distance. The reigning Australian super middleweight champion at 77.90 kilograms. Brendan Cannon is head coach. Would you welcome to Victoria, Michael Bolling. Wearing black trunks. And across the ring in the blue corner, head coach Sam Labruna, the Victorian light heavyweight champion. 6 fights, 5 wins, 1 draw, no losses at 79.10 kilograms. They call him the Greenville Gladiator. Gold with black, Blake Caparello. Referee Michael Milner, judges Samantha Milner, Anthony Hibbs, Tony Moretta. Main event time at the Melbourne Pavilion.
Blake. Welcome to Centre Ring, gentlemen. Good, clean fight. Obey my instructions at all times. Okay, come on, fighting at the bell. May the best man win. Shake hands now. Good luck.
It looks like Blake Caparello has the height and reach. You look on the stats, and it says no, they're even. We'd like to thank Tony Nobbs for his assistance once again in compiling and assisting with our bios and research. A very important member of the Fox Sports Friday Night Fight team.
Yeah, certainly looks like Blake's got a little bit of height on him. He's in good condition, Blake, and Bolling as always. I'm looking forward to this one, Andy.
New direction in Aussie boxing on TV. We are looking at matching 2 Aussies evenly and doing so under the bright lights. And here's a good example, Bolling and Caparello. Both left-handers, southpaws, that is right foot forward, right hand forward, and the power comes from the other side of the body.
The big factor that comes in when lefties meet lefties is they've got to use their front hand a lot more. It's a setting up punch, like an orthodox does against an orthodox, as we saw with Chernous and Stephen Heremaia. Set, and let the punches come off that.
Bolling is in the black trunks. In the black and white is Caparello, a natural light heavyweight. Bolling a natural super middleweight. That means Michael has stepped up to light heavyweight to take this contest.
You can see early on Caparello's, he's doing a perfect thing. He's not standing still. Oh, Bolling's gone! Left over the top.
A big shot from Caparello.
5, 6, 7. Hey, you okay? Okay, box.
That certainly wasn't the script.
In real strife.
Look at Caparello. He is now head hunting.
He should just back off, back off. He's going to get Bolling, don't rush. He'll lose his power.
Bolling wants to stand and fight.
Bolling's that front hand is still way too low and Caparello just keeps catching him with it.
Don't hang it there. Break it.
What worked for Caparello early, he kept moving around, he didn't stay in front of him and he kept jabbing to the body in the leftover, that one there. And if he does the same thing, he'll catch Bolling again until he gets that front hand up.
Flash knockdown in the opening round. Early in the opening round too. Trying to get that overhand left. To find a home. He does so again and again. But now back against the ropes. Bolling walked through the two of those. Michael Bolling, last fight was June last year.
His only blemish to date as well.
Yeah, his only blemish for a version of the world super middleweight title in Kempton Park, South Africa.
The other thing with the lefties, they're used to working the same way, but here it's working into the power hand of each other. Usually with the lefty, you keep your front foot on the outside and you just keep circling around away from the power hand. Well, all of a sudden, the power hand's right in front of you like that.
Looking at form lines, the last fight for Blake Caparello, December last year, a draw for the Australian light heavyweight title. That was against Shane McConville over 10 rounds. So both last fights did not go to script. Some nice uppercuts, in fact, two of them from Caparello in what is a 10-8 round to get the party started.
Big round from Blake Caparello, and it wasn't only that one left hand, they were constant. Hopefully Brendan Canning gets in here and sorts it out.
Don't look for the one shot again, okay? Well done.
So we have a look what went on in round number one, and here it is. You'll see the jab go in, the bolo over, bang on top of the temple.
Temple shot.
Double up the jabs. You are going to sit.
You don't miss a thing on Friday night fights on Australia's sports leader.
Big shot. And you see what, as we see it again, Caparello sends it out, Bolling chases it with his front hand.
Next up, March 25, Ryan Waters versus Gary Sinclair. That is our main event. And on the undercard, Hussein El Husseini and Anthony Brownlee for the New South Wales welterweight title. Friday, March 25, live at 8 p.m. on Fox Sports 1 and Fox Sports 1 HD. We move into round number 2, and Michael Bolling, the mountain just gone higher. Not only does he have to clear the head and take the advantage, he is behind on points by 2 rounds after just one.
Yeah, and for mine, he hasn't fixed the mistakes that are needed to be fixed at this stage. He's still sloppy in his defence, and Caparello's going to do exactly what worked for him in round number 1. There it is.
We spoke live on air to both young men earlier, both great ambassadors. Very much looking forward to the fight. In fact, they were looking forward to the fight more so than they were looking forward to the interview. I think they were more comfortable fighting than they were comfortable standing in front of the camera, but both young men did very well.
Yeah, I thought they were very level-headed, spoke well.
Try with that crossing left from Bolling.
This is where he's got to be careful. The left hand following over. Ooh.
They are two big punches, these two guys.
Yeah, especially Bolling's record speaks, and Blake Caparello, he's just proved what he's got. Oh, nice sneaky uppercut.
Sneaky, off balance. It appeared all of the above, but it was beautiful. And a nice two-punch combination from Blake Caparello, who, keep in mind, this young man in the black and white piping is only in his 7th pro fight.
And oh, look at that, beautiful uppercut.
Caparello genuinely fighting from the back foot here.
It's worked for him, Andy. He's manoeuvring Bolling around, and wherever Bolling comes in from whatever angle, well, Caparello's there to answer him. This is where Bolling's got to just keep working. No use holding. He's not having success on the outside, so he's got to try and rough him up and get those punches working inside.
Oh, over the top again with the left hand. Just under a minute remaining, round number 2. Oh, Bolling with the left hand. Has he got Caparello in a little bit of trouble here?
Okay, don't hang in there. Go, Brent, come on. Break, please. Come on.
Maybe Bolling, it's hard to explain on TV, but you've got centre line. So imagine your chin, beautiful.
Wow.
Running down the centre of your body, that's your line. At this stage, Michael Bolling's dead in line with Blake Caparello's left hand. So if he just moves his feet to his left, or more so to his left, to get away from the power hand, he'll break that line and should take away that power hand that he keeps walking into.
I'm enjoying this. We hope you are too, wherever you may be watching live around Australia on Australia's Sports Leader. March 25 is our next date with you. Following that, an Australian television first. 3 Aussie titles on the one card. The middleweight title, the lightweight title, and the junior welterweight title. This, quite simply, is must-see TV, live at 8 p.m. again. Friday, the 15th of April. We hope you can join us.
Same with the bow tie. Try to change the angle a little bit if you need before that second attack. You know, don't just sit there and expect them to still be there. Put him in a bit better position by moving around him. All right? That hand's nice and tight.
Second round, Brent. Round 3.
Perfect instructions there from Brendan Cannon.
Former
Move around
Olympian.
him. Yeah, and it showed. Move around him. Don't stay in front of him. Let's see if Bolling can take those instructions into here as he walks into a left hand.
Our main event. Oh, nice shot there. And again, it was Caparello we're commenting on. Don't forget our next couple of dates. You can also keep an eye out on the Fox Sports website, foxsports.com.au. Fox Sports News as well will be running previews and profiles of some of our superstars in the lead-up to our Friday night fights. And of course, feel free to jump online if you're a social media freak and follow me on
Twitter, you following Charlie Sheen, Andy?
Charlie Sheen, a new hero. He's got a few more followers than me, but follow us. I will keep you up to date exactly of where, when, who, why and how, what is happening on Friday night fights.
I think Charlie's is more people following Charlie for the amusement, I think. I'll tell you the interesting thing here. At this stage, it looks like Blake Caparello is the bigger puncher of these two fighters.
Yep.
Both fighters have fought Joel Casey. Michael Bolling knocks Joel Casey out in 4 rounds. Blake Caparello goes 8 rounds and thinks he does knock him out. Here, boxing's a funny game. It's exactly the opposite. Blake Caparello is looking the bigger, the stronger, and the more effective puncher at this stage.
Natural weight, anything to do with it?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Blake, you can actually see the sides of him. You know, even though Bolling is not out of place at light heavyweight, but Blake Caparello is just he's a big light heavyweight and very long arms.
Chris, your thought on catchweight contests? If you've got a great light heavyweight and a great cruiserweight, do you find somewhere in the middle to accommodate 2 talented guys, or do you stick to your division and do your own thing?
Well, as a boxing fan, I want to see this. As a coach, I've probably got to think more about my fighter's safety, or, you know, if my fighter's, in this case, say Michael Bolling's walking around at 86, 87 kilos and he cuts down to super middleweight, well, I'd say, well, he won't have any problems catching at, you know, 78 kilos or 79 kilos. And at the end of the day, we get to see this.
Here goes Bolling, starting to open up final 30 seconds of the round. Some slight adjustments in what and how Michael Bolling is offensively boxing.
He's got to move Caparello around. The way Caparello's moving Bolling around, well, that's what Bolling's got to do. Forget going forward non-stop because he keeps walking into left hands, and here's where he's got to go. Once he gets there, then go. But if he can manoeuvre him around, pivot, change some angles, give Blake Caparello something different to look at.
But I want you sitting there training with him, mate. I want you boxing him, okay? Are you hearing me? Yep. Okay. As soon as you finish your combination, I want you off and running, mate. Hey. Try to seven. Off the ropes. Drink. So you're going for the one trick now, he knows. The overhand, I don't want it anymore. The open things up. Okay? Well done, good work. Your boxing, you've got no chance, mate. Work. Get a bit more distance. Okay? Slip, come back, three. Off both sides. Okay? Second in.
Red B41. B41 in an orange ticket. Red ticket. B41. Seconds out. Round 4.
Moving into middle territory here after a 10-8 round to Caparello in the opener.
I think Caparello still won that round, but it was Bolling's best round to date as he eats the left hand again.
So that's potentially 4 rounds difference.
I can't see it any different, even though...
4 points difference, should I say.
Bolling had his moments in that round, but he still just took a little bit too much punishment. He's taken a couple of good left hands here early in round number 4.
Oh, beautiful. Great uppercut. In an 8-round war, that means unless it's a stoppage, Michael Bolling has to now win every round to get the nod.
Yeah. You can see that swelling coming under Bolling's left eye.
Yep. He's busted, dusted at the moment.
But he's still fighting.
I think he's far from gone though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That onslaught at the end of round number 3 cause for optimism for you Michael Bolling fans. And I know there's plenty of you in the Shire watching on Friday night fights up there in Sydney.
He's got a massive following, Michael Bolling.
He certainly does.
I've seen him fight live, and the crowd that he brings and the people that get behind him is a credit to himself. Again, this is a much better start for Michael Bolling, although he wore some punches early. Blake seems to be just purring with that left hand now. Instead of throw, there he goes. He throws it well that time, but
Caparello has been a pro for just on 18 months. A victory in August 09 over Aaron Ross. So it's happened very, very quickly for a talented young man.
Yeah, he's proven tonight that he's up to that level.
Won the Victorian light heavyweight title over Dennis O'Carl. Retained it with a victory, as you said earlier, over Joel Casey over 8 rounds, and then went a step higher and went for the Aussie title in Shane McConville. And he fought out a 10-round draw. Now there's something I'd like to see on Friday night fights over the course of the year.
Certainly.
Maybe a rematch between those two brutes.
And you know, I love what Blake Caparello and his team's doing, as Michael Bolling did. Oh, beautiful short punch there from Blake Caparello. If their fighter's up to it, we'll put him in there.
Yep.
And for Michael Bolling earlier on, it worked because he had big wins over, you know, Joel Casey, over Victor Oganov.
Serge Yannick.
That's a massive win, yeah.
Yep.
And then you got Michael Bolling, who his team think he's up to it. Blake Caparello. So they've thrown him with Shane McConville, Joel Casey, now Michael Bolling.
End of the round, halfway home. In our main event on this edition of Friday Night Fights. You mentioned Michael Bolling and that victory over Victor Oganov, a KO victory in round number 8. At La Montage, and the brutal left-hander was just that.
That was a perfect display of breaking your opponent down, and at the moment we're just not seeing that Michael Bolling that we saw that night. whether a different opponent or facing a lefty or, you know, being a different weight, something's not in Michael Bolling's favour at this stage. Credit to Blake Caparello.
You've got to win it well, mate, right? A lot of work in this round.
Seconds out, round 5.
You look at their faces, and that tells the story. Blake Caparello looks like he's enjoying the night, whereas Michael Bolling, he just doesn't have that fire in his eyes for mine at the moment. He's trying. I've been in his situation. Your trainer can tell you everything that you want. You know what to do, but something just won't let you do it. You're trying your best.
He's a talented youngster, Caparello.
He's got arms like Damien Hooper, that guy.
Just
the world's longest.
24 years of age. Stands 186 centimetres or 6'1" in the old terms.
Big future, hasn't he?
Yeah. Real good future.
There's a little bit of, you know, obviously different stance, but there's a little bit of Brad Pitt in him as well. He's got that long, lean body, long arms, long lead hand. It's obviously left for Brad and right for Blake, but look at that. I never thought I'd say this, Andy. I picked Bolling to win this fight, but Bolling's out of his league at this stage.
Yeah, he's certainly battling with Blake Caparello's superior strike rate and superior handwork. Wonder how much that knockout in the opening 90 seconds has got to do with what happened since. I wonder just how much it's slowed down Michael Bolling. It always has an effect, but how much is often pretty difficult to determine.
Andy, there's some things you can speak of, you know, speak from experience, and this is exactly what happened to me against Dean Byrne. I got knocked down. I've never been knocked down in my life. Knocked down in the first probably 30 seconds of the fight. From there on, I was never in the fight. I got beat well. I got beat by a much better fighter on the night who was so focused. I tried my guts out, but I just couldn't do it. And Michael Bolling, to me, looks like he's got the same face. He wants to do it, but there's something that he just, you know, he's been knocked about. His legs are heavy, and it's so hard to do. He's a fighter, and he's going to try his best to keep doing it.
Oh, he takes a left hand there again from Caparello. The carpenter by trade has turned his attention to become a full-time boxer. So far it's working for Blake Caparello, the 24-year-old from Essendon. Blake the Bomber Caparello, if you will.
Oh, he's living up to that name at the moment. He's crafty too, he's tricky. He knows what he's doing, Blake Caparello. I would say these long fights with Joel Casey and Shane McConville, they're really improving Blake Caparello, because he's stepped up a massive mark here against Michael Bolling, and he's handling the occasion perfectly.
And in just your 7th fight, it is a massive step up for Blake Caparello.
Oh, massive shot.
Over the top again. Little wobbly on his feet, heading. Let's check out a little bit of what happened in the previous round, Chris.
Yeah, I think it was pretty similar to what we see most of the fight. Bolling tried his hardest, and he did have his moments. He landed some good shots, but Caparello had control of the round, and that left hand just keeps finding the target for Caparello. Whether it's a left over or left up or a left straight, there we go. He just looks so focused, Blake Caparello. So calm in the corner.
Round number 6 coming your way live on Fox Sports. Michael Bolling in the straight black, Blake Caparello in the black and the white piping. Caparello, it has been his fight so far. Knocked down in round number 1, he has dominated since.
Yeah, it's been a great display from Blake Caparello. And as I said earlier, Michael Bolling is one of my favourite fighters to watch domestically. I just think he just does everything right, but tonight he's just not on, and that's boxing. There's nights where you're not on. We just saw one of the better fighters of Australia at this stage, Victor Chernous, got beat by Ray Anton Alate. At times, you're just not on.
Yep.
Oh, sneaky left hand he's got, Blake Caparello.
He does have a sneaky left hand, and it is a good one.
Yeah, isn't it?
It's unlike, and we have spoken about it before, but it's unlike team sports where if an individual has an off night, you're often covered by your 12 or 17 teammates. In boxing, if you have an off night where it's just not your day, there is no hiding. There's no covering it. You get beaten.
Look, don't get me wrong, Michael Bolling is a very good fighter.
Oh, yeah.
He's got everything that a boxer needs, but Blake Caparello tonight just looks the better fighter. I feel for Michael Bolling. You see the look on his face. You see he's defeated. He's trying, and I'll tell you what will happen in the corner when they go back. Brendan Cannon's going to beg him, come on mate, we're letting this fight go. If you want it, you've got to go for it. Michael Bolling knows he's trying his best.
Caparello has boxed the majority of the previous 2 minutes from his heels, but irrespective of how he's boxed the opening of this round, he's still dominating the round.
That's what his corner asked for. Just keep moving on the back foot and just keep picking him off, and at this stage it's working. Bolling should get some balks and try and get some feints, drive some straight punches to the body and then follow him up. Easier said than done.
Oh, there it is again. Driving lead hand and the power hand followed. Just a very basic two-punch combination, but a beauty.
And it's easy for you and me and all the fight fans at home, you know, to sit and watch and say, what's Michael Bolling doing? But it's Blake Caparello's movements that are making, you know, happen what happened. Look at that.
That's about round 6.
Now we saw 3 pre-telecast fights, and we saw Lauren Eagle come out for her 4th fight against Bronwyn Wiley from New Zealand in the lightweight division. That's Eagle in the white, Wiley in the black. And it was a torrid old encounter. We commented during the fight that Lauren Eagle looked an improved boxer, but regardless, she suffered her first loss in our prelim card here tonight at the Pavilion.
Yeah, she looked better. She trimmed down. She looked in much better shape, but she's just still got a lot of learning to do, you know. And that's just part of boxing. You've got to, you know, it takes time. You can't just, you know, think that it's going to happen in one night. Lauren Eagle, she'll learn a lot from that.
Round 7.
Round 7, pressure is on. Michael Bolling to come up with the big KO. 77% knockout record. He has 12 wins, 10 of them have been via the short route. So he is a power puncher. He has got the power punch. But can he find the chin of Blake Caparello? A very different question.
Yeah. And, you know, credit to Michael Bolling's chin. He went down in the first, but he's eaten constant left hands from Blake Caparello and a short right hook there. But he just keeps on coming forward. He keeps trying.
He's a tough nut, isn't he?
Isn't he what?
Referee Malcolm Bulmer in between the pair.
Oh, nice punch there from Caparello. Oh, and look, Bolling walks through it and just keeps coming.
Yep. I'd like to see Blake with the arms up late in the fight here against a guy with 10 knockouts and 12 victories. You do not need to present a target.
Yep. Still very dangerous, as we said in the Chernous and Heremaia fight. You've got to stay focused all the way through. But he looks focused to me. He's just doing what's working for him at this stage.
Two very quietly spoken, respectful young men who have just a ton of skill. Halfway through the 7th. Could very well be part of the next couple of months. A big part of the next couple of months is trying to figure out for Michael Bolling and his crew, I guess headed by Brendan Cannon. Part of the rebuilding process. That's back-to-back losses for the first time in his short but wonderful pro career. What needs to improve? How do we improve it? And when do we improve it?
Obviously, this fight's not done and dusted yet, but at this stage, Blake Caparello, let's be honest, he's in front. But at this part of the fight, he's made a couple of mistakes and he's nearly paid for them. That's one there. He keeps ducking down to his left-hand side, and that's when Bolling comes down with the punch, and that's where the power is. Blake Caparello's got to be very careful. There it is again.
There's still plenty of power in the midst of both boys. Crowd now getting involved in this one, enjoying what they're seeing.
Yep, one thing. Oh, look at that.
Two-shot combination. Michael Bolling scores. Caparello responds. Right to receive.
Good comeback there from Michael Bolling. He's got to keep going and think, well, I had a good success at the end of that round. I've got to try my best.
And here we go, $10,000, winner takes all. It is on the line, and this is the 8th and final round. Michael Bolling in the black trunks, and the black and the white, Blake Caparello, who was caught a couple of times late in the 7th round. Will the hands come up? Will he back foot box? Will he keep his distance? Is he a little more cautious?
He's just, look, he's leading the fight, and Bolling still showed in that round he's still got power. He's just got to keep doing what worked for him, but a little bit more cautious on his defence. At the end of the day, you don't want to get to round 8 after winning each round and you get knocked out. Good for Michael Bolling, good for everyone else.
Great work rate from both young guys. They haven't been hard to find. They've thrown plenty of punches. They've moved a ton.
Oh, there it is.
He walks into a monster left hand.
You know, credit to everyone, Fox Sports, the promoters, both teams. But these are the fights we want to see domestically, you know.
I agree.
Two top Aussies. Okay, they're in it. Oh, what a left hand from Blake Caparello. Two different weight divisions. They've met in the middle. Beautiful. I really enjoy seeing it. Watch, here comes a left hand from Caparello. Oh, he missed with it.
Oh, he walked into a couple there, Caparello. Bolling very much needs the KO here. That is stating the obvious, but well behind, we think, unofficially on the scorecard, the three ringside judges are Sam Bulmer, Anthony Hibbs and Tony Moretta.
Well, Caparello's hands are down there. Bolling should send the power hand, the left hand for the southpaw, down to the body and come up with a big hook. Caparello's hands are very low. Body's so open. Oh, look at that for a left hand.
Yeah, good shot from Caparello. Again, 60 seconds left in our main event.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, what a left uppercut, Blake Caparello. Bolling eats it up and keeps coming forward.
He certainly does. What a performance it has been from Blake Caparello.
Unbelievable performance and a massive ticker and a massive heart to Michael Bolling. He's been there, he's been outboxed, he's been outpunched, but he hasn't given up. That's the heart of a fighter. We'll see Michael Bolling again. Against who or when, I'm not sure, but the guy's got too much to throw it away. He's a real talent still.
No, we'll see Michael Bolling again. He'll improve, he'll be back and better. Our main event comes to a close. There's a check for $10,000. And Blake Caparello will take it back to Essendon with him. Look at these two. Isn't that just brilliant? I love Oz boxing. I love it.
Massive respect.
What a card it has been. We've seen a little bit of everything. A draw earlier in the night. Brent, Elliott and Justin Medoro. Pat Rullo, the national champion, was too good for Brad Pole. Michael Kirby scored a unanimous points decision over Clarence Tillman, and a majority decision, Victor Chernous. He was too good for Steve Heremaia. Plenty coming your way, as we have said a couple of times tonight on Friday Night Fights. We are next up on the 25th of this month. Ryan Waters, Gary Sinclair as the headline act, Hussein El Husseini and Anthony Brownlee for the state welterweight title. One of many quality fights on the undercard, live at 8 p.m. on Fox Sports 1 and Fox Sports 1 HD. Then a couple of weeks later, we are back at it again with an Aussie TV first. 3 national titles in the one night. Mwetchupunga and Shake for the middleweight strap. Smith and Shaw for the lightweight strap. And King and Crow for the Aussie junior welterweight title. That's Friday, April 15. Once again, live at 8 p.m. Friday Night Fights. Coming your way. There is the check. Who does it go to? Let's make it official. Howard Lee.
Who's it go to? Both fighters to centre ring, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous points decision. Judge Samantha Bullner had it 76-75, very close. Judge Anthony Hibbs had it 77-74. Final card, Tony Moretta 80-71. Unanimous points. Blue corner, Blake Caparello.
Blake Caparello victorious. Michael Bolling resigned to the fact that he knows that Caparello won it and won it well. A great Aussie local fight in Caparello with the 10 grand. What is happening with the scoring here in Melbourne though? Hope you enjoyed all the action live on Friday Night Fights. Fox Sports, Australia's sports leader, has been driving the
one of the best fights I've seen in a long time, culminating in the last 8 rounds between Victor Chernous and Steve Heremaia, and finishing with this, with Michael Bolling from New South Wales losing on a unanimous points decision to Blake Caparello. I think it was a great fight, an absolute war. Thank you very much for all your support. Looking forward to seeing you back here April the 8th and then May the 13th after that. Thank you very much, and very, very big thanks to Simmons Homes and the redwineshop.com, but especially Gary Simmons, just about ready to present the big check. Cheers.
Brian, spectacular night. Well done.
Thanks. We're all back again on April the 8th, where we got Will Tomlinson, Daniel Anatso, Omar Kimwiri, Sam Columban, 4 big titles, and Joel Casey. So everybody's welcome back here a month's time. Thank you.
On you, Brian, Mark, the check, official check. It's the biggest check I've ever seen. Blake, congratulations. Come over and accept that magnificent bonus award. Blake Caparello. How about 3 cheers for Blake? Hip hip. Hip hip. Hip hip. Blake, congratulations. Arguably, not arguably, but certainly your best fight. You fought a beautiful fight. Knockdown first round. That set the pattern. The big left hooks. Had you worked out a weakness in Bolling's defence?
Sam's just taught me all along, just go over the top of the jab, bowl your overhand, because that's my best punch, and that's what I did. First round I got him, and to Michael's credit, everyone give him a round of applause because he's one tough bloke, mate. He come forward for the whole 8 rounds after a big knockdown. I wanted this fight, Michael wanted the fight, we both put our purse up, and I've got to thank Michael very much, and got to give my team, Sam LaBruna, puts plenty of time in, Silly Ryan Mitchum and Nick the Greek, best team out. Also got to thank my sponsors. I got Kia Werribee, S&J Panels, Signal, I got CMS Meats, all thank you very much. And I just want the best in Australia, that's why I took on Michael Bolling. That's one step, and we've got more to come. Thank you very much, everyone. And thanks Barry and Brian Truder and Simmons for putting me on this fight. Thank you very much.
Okay, that's our winner, Blake Caparello. A very impressive performance. A clear-cut points win over Michael Bolling. Okay, on Fox Sports, Howard Lee on behalf of Brian Truder, Barry, Michael Sports at the Melbourne Pavilion. Hope you've had a great night. Protect yourself at all times, both physically and emotionally. Reach for the stars. Keep punching. We'll see you soon. Good night from Melbourne.